R&B Money. We up. Tank. J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast.
Yes, sir.
The authority on all things R&B.
Hallelujah.
My on today.
Ooh.
If you are struggling in your vocal dexterity, there's a man.
You're singing from the wrong place.
If you are singing from the wrong place, if your lyrics are malnourished and have no meaty depth to them, if your production needs spiced so that the masses can cater to that which you do. If you need a man to get you on a level, amen, whether it be gospel, whether it be R&B, whether it be pop,
K-pop, Diddy pop, Papa Diddy pop.
Papa Diddy pop, pop rocks, whatever it is, we've got a man.
Yeah.
And his name
What's his
is
name?
Eric Dawkins.
Eric Dawkins. The dog himself.
Wow. Wow.
Dawkins.
Come on, brother.
Hey,
on,
all
man.
I gotta say is I don't think I've ever in my 50 plus years heard somebody intro me like that. Ever.
I know you, brother.
Ever.
I know you, and
Okay.
and
Thank
you know
you for that.
we family. I mean, you know what
We've
this
been in the
is.
trenches
We've been
together,
in the
man.
trenches,
Together,
Bombs flying
man.
over.
bro.
Trenches,
And I'm
yeah.
talking like, this for me goes back, to being a kid and listening to you and your brother.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And studying. And like, what is that? Who is that? And studying that voice, you know what I mean? And then to one day finally meet you and then for it to go even further, to us to begin to have a working relationship and then a brotherhood. It's been pretty awesome, bro. So I want you to know that, that is not taken for granted. I always call you my sensei. You know what I'm saying? Like we always used to get in there and share and go vocal for vocal, and then
everybody ain't able.
Yeah, everybody. Well, at my album release party, you definitely, showed up as the teacher. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's my album release. It's my album
I think
release.
he showed it with a backpack on.
He showed it with a backpack. It's my album release.
I got more in my bag.
Yeah, nigga, I'm like,
You know
Just
what?
in
He has a
case.
backpack right
Just in
there
case.
on the side. Just in
I
case.
always keep the bag.
the shine is supposed to be on me.
Some people keep a pistol.
Some people he keep a bag of
Some
vocal.
people keep a vocal.
A bag of vocal.
Eric Dawkins keeps a vocal
Hey, when
at
I say-
all times.
Listen, when I say you kicked our ass that night, it was so crazy because I think Jamie knew you could sing, but
But
I don't think
he
he
didn't
knew that you were going to do all of that.
Yeah. You know how some niggas fake an injury?
he pulled his hamstring.
I fake drunk. I'm so drunk.
Don't pass it to me.
Don't give me the mic.
I don't sing well like this. Nigga, Jamie pulled a hamstring. Everybody on that stage, Lonnie was like this. I don't know. I'm not doing nothing.
What?
And it was just like, it was one of those moments where I was just like,
That's Eric Dawkins.
Oh man, listen,
Eric Dawkins.
I'm humbled all the time. Like I don't think I've ever gotten used to people giving me that. You know what I'm saying? And that just comes from my upbringing though. And it's because singing is what I love to do. It's my passion. It's my gift. And the definition of a gift is something that you give away. So me giving it like that is just like, that's what I'm
You
supposed
definitely
to
be
do.
giving these singers these vocals. Yeah, I'm gonna give it away.
you
We
got
give
the
you these vocals.
gift of this business.
I'm gonna give you this
The gift of this
business.
Gift of this business.
But no, that's just and then being in, I will say this, in covenant with people like you that I know I can share it with. Whenever we're together, it's the iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
As long as it touches, like we're that. So I appreciate you for being who you are.
Oh my God. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And this guy,
I mean,
I met Jay before I met all y'all.
Yeah.
I met him at the barbershop.
Yeah.
Kenny was cutting his hair. I was like, who is this pretty nigga right here? With his waves and all, getting all pretty on his head and stuff.
Nigga ain't got no clippers on. He just get all shear work.
Yeah, like
All
who
shear
is this?
work. You gotta make sure you get them shears out, baby.
All
Get them shears out.
I heard was
Oh shit!
No, it wasn't no
covered his back with olive oil and shit.
like glistening on.
Hey, man, y'all gotta relax, man.
No, then my man Kenny introduced us
Yeah.
and told me who he was. I'm like, oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Like, and we like from that moment,
Mm-hmm.
like we didn't see each other for a minute, but whenever we did reconnect, I went back to that moment. And it was like, he was a real down brother. So it was all love from then, and we've been family from day one.
Yeah.
So
20 plus at this point.
yeah, we 20 plus.
That's crazy.
Met you at the Fred Hammond concert.
Red Hammond concert.
At Faithful Central when
Yep.
I was at the Forum. Like, I was fanning out, like, didn't want to say nothing, like, yo, that's Tank. That's Tank right there. But then we ended up meeting, and I was like, that's Tank. You Tank.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
you
that's
Tank.
Dawkins. I'm like, nigga,
It
No,
was
it's
like
crazy.
that.
It's crazy for me to see with him is that I feel like he's the R&B singer that all the church is proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't
Even
get
though
to-
they can't play his stuff
right.
outside
They
church, when
but
you know
they
church
should
is out,
play it
they
with-
roll the windows up
Yeah,
before
she
they
played
start
what
playing.
they wives.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But I didn't realize it until I think we were at Celebration of Gospel,
Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, he Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
they love him." Because
They-
I always knew it as once you go and do R&B music, the church
church
don't
just-
fool with you.
Yeah, nah.
They kind of shun you a little bit. But when I forgot what year we went and you did
Yeah.
Celebration of Gospel, and I was like, "Yo, they really
They fool
rock
with
with Tank."
Tank.
Yeah. It got progressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once, the emergence. I mean, you guys were early
Yeah.
in your progression.
We were 93.
You know what I'm saying? Like you guys were early. Like that's
Yeah.
when I was trying to do like really progressive. Just because of commission, because of y'all.
Yeah.
But Kirk really made it a thing.
Yeah.
Where it was like globally, church didn't have to be so buttoned up.
Right.
And you could still be places.
You still
and
mad at
still
her?
go do cool
You still mad at
things.
him?
And-
Yeah.
Are you still mad at him?
Who, Kirk?
Yeah.
I want my dance off. I want my dance off.
Are you gonna wear kitten heels? 'Cause
It's,
he's
listen,
definitely
it's
gonna
got to be
wear
an
it.
equal playing field. It's got to
Wait a minute.
It's got to be an equal playing field. If he has on a kitten heel, I'm gonna have on a kitten
he
heel.
buff
It's gotta
like
be
you now,
equal play.
too.
He ain't buff like
He
me.
might want to have a push-up
He's not-
contest.
he's not-
Hey,
he's trying to be buff.
Wait,
He ain't showed his abs yet.
Have you seen him late? Yeah,
He ain't showed his abs yet.
yeah. He did.
No.
He did.
All right. Well, I keep abs
He
on
is,
deck.
he is the gospel
you
Tank.
said you might want a gospel beef. He might want an R&B beef at this point. He out here getting yoked up.
He's
He about to
definitely-
start singing "When We."
Kirk, whatever you want, however you want it.
Yo.
We can hit the gym.
Oh man.
No, but I mean,
that's funny.
So Kirk for me was like a guy when he dropped. I was like, that's everything I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
And I always joke and say I was mad at him because when he came out, I was like, I wanted to do that. But it was so dope when
Yeah.
he did it, and I think that kind of opened everybody's eyes, even from the world, to
Absolutely.
just see quote unquote church people,
Yeah.
not so buttoned up, and
Yeah.
not so ready to judge and ready to hit you over the head with the Bible.
It
He
was-
said it
it was
before.
necessary.
They play Stump in the club.
Yeah, it was necessary, but Kirk went through a whole lot.
Oh, hell and high water, I'm sure.
Whole lot for being as radical
Yeah.
and as different as he was. I mean, me and Anson on a not such a grand level, we went through the same thing. I remember one time we were in Chicago at we were doing an in-store run, and we went to this one record store when record stores existed, and the owner came out and was like, "Oh, we're not playing that. That ain't gospel music." And we looked at each other like, Did you listen? Did you listen to our stuff?
Right.
What's not gospel about it? We made him put, I think this was at the time, Need to Know was like the song.
Mm-hmm.
And we had him put it on in the store, and like literally, like, you know how you looking at somebody to see,
Yeah.
we're doing that to him, and he's just listening, and he's like, oh, I guess it is gospel.
Right. He was just judging it.
He was judging it
Without-
from the
yeah, fully
sound
listening.
of it.
Yeah.
Like, because the first
wasn't
thing
listening
coming, he
to
wasn't
it.
listening to the
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
We was like, there's nothing, who else would we be talking about you need to know what you need to know. I mean, it's plain and simple right there in the lyrics. So we ran into that kind of stuff, and we were like always too gospel to go on secular radio and too urban to go on gospel radio. So we were right there in the middle. We were caught in
In
that
a
matrix.
horrible sweet spot.
Oh, it was horrible. It was
sweet
horrible.
spot.
I mean,
okay, hold on, before you go there, let's go back. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Let's turn back the hands of time.
don't go back.
Where the first time, you know, I love this question. If somebody said to you, or you said to yourself, "Oh, I got something."
Actually, I remember the first time, and it wasn't even with our stuff. It was, you know, me and Anson wrote and co-wrote like 3 songs on Commission number 7.
No way.
way.
You
The
never told
first
me that.
the first song on
wrote
the
for
album,
Commission?
Second Chance. Me and Anson wrote that song as we were driving.
You are getting on my nerves.
No, literally,
right
we were
now.
we were driving to
You done
Akron
got
for
more
a
and more
concert.
great. You done got more and more great.
I just worked out to the 7 album maybe like 2 weeks ago.
We were literally driving to Akron for a commission concert, and we had done the track. We done the track, and
Who
we were
did the
like,
track?
I did the track, and of course Fred, you know, he does his stuff on top of it, but that was my track. Like, and he did his Fred Hammond thing.
Believe looking up.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
so-
I was forgiven without question or reply. Erase the evidence. Second chance. You are crazy.
Dead serious. We wrote it on the way to Akron, like it was a 2-hour drive from where we lived, and
That's
wrote the lyrics
crazy.
and
What else
then
you wrote
the
on
second song.
What else you writing?
Crazy part was Anson used to be the lyric guy with me and him. Like I would do the tracks, Anson would come up with the lyrics because that's just what he did. So we're going into the studio to do number 7 with them because we're singing on the whole thing, like background and everything. And I brought a track that they loved, and Fred was like, "Okay, go ahead and write it." I'm like, "No, I don't.
That ain't what I.
That's not for me."
Yeah.
Anson writes the lyrics. He's like, "No, man, you could do it." And I literally, to this day, I give Fred Hammond credit for me being the lyrical guy that I am because he pushed me
So before that,
to
you
do
had
that. I had
never
I
done
didn't
any
write. I
lyric
might
and
give
melody.
Anson a couple ideas, but
Yeah.
sitting down and penning a verse or a hook, that was my thing. I was like, let me make the track hot.
Yeah.
And so he put me in this room. I was scared out of my mind. Like, what am I going to do? Studio A in Dearborn, Michigan. And so what I did, because I was so afraid of it being not accepted, I didn't want to be rejected. They already loved the track, so I knew the track was going to be whatever it was. And I wrote like 2 different versions of this song. And I said, let me sing them the one I feel like is the dumbest so they don't take it. And just let Anson do it. I came out. Here lately I've been thinking about you and the way you make me feel inside. And I'm resting at a moment, feel as I can hide. That song turned out to be I Can't Live Without You.
Are you kidding me?
Literally. I can't live without you. I can't live. Can't live.
I can't live.
I can't live, yo.
Man.
Yeah,
How old
that
are
was
you
the song. I
at
was
this point?
20. I just turned 21, I think. I just turned 21. But the track was mine like you know, I was on my Roger Troutman.
Are you kidding me?
And so, fun fact is, when we toured with Commission, the tour buses that they used were the Troutman's buses. Like, it was 2, Big Blue and this maroon bus, and one of them had like some studio equipment on it, whatever. It was fly buses back then, MCIs.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, me and Anson, we toured with Commission. Like when Fred heard our demo, he literally hired us on the spot. We were at Fred's house in Detroit. Somebody took us over there and we played a demo that we had done. And we was just like, we just thought we was gonna do a record or whatever. He's like, I need y'all to be in the band. So he hired us, and this might be even a little messy. He hired us without talking to the other guys. Like, I'm playing keys.
Wow.
And Anson's playing the drum machine and programming stuff for the show.
Because what's the guy?
Max.
Max, yeah.
Max Frank was there. He
Max
was the
Frank
MD.
was the MD, yeah.
He was MD.
And what's the guy on drums?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then we
And they didn't know.
had a couple other keyboard players. Eddie Howard, who was a phenomenal keyboard player. He was one of the keyboards. So it was me, Eddie Howard, and Max. I was doing aux keys, like just filling in here and there with that, and singing background. So we sang like on the road. We were part of the vocals for the band.
For when? What year was
From 90 to like 94.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on the road with them.
I had to have seen you then,
had
though,
to.
because anytime y'all, I think y'all came, y'all used to come to Evangel Church.
in DC. Yeah,
Yeah, in
that
Maryland.
was like.
Yeah.
I got a funny story about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be one of my moments. But it was hilarious. But yeah, we toured with them for like the better part of 3 years, and that gave us our start. Like
He was the first person to tell you guys.
he was
You guys got something
that was where we figured it out, because we had a couple bands that we sang in locally in Ohio that they were cool with being local or even regional, but we had other ideas. Our vision was a lot bigger than Ohio. So we killed those two groups. It was like, we'll just do it ourselves. And Fred actually wanted us to be a part of a four-person group, like 2 girls and 2 guys. And if you know what Fred's company is called, Face to Face. Face to Face was the name of our group. It was me, Anson, and these 2 girls. And
What's the name of the company and it was the name of the group?
No, it was the name of the group first.
First,
We
okay.
didn't have the company yet.
Okay.
So the group situation didn't really pan out, so it just ended up being me and Anson. And so he took the name, was like, we should call y'all something else. And Fred actually is the one that came up with Dawkins and Dawkins.
Wow.
And it stuck. Like, so Fred can be credited for discovering Dawkins and Dawkins. Like that's
incredible.
Fred is my sensei. Like I tell people
Yeah.
all the time, that's who I studied. Fred put me on to Donny Hathaway. So I started studying Donny. Of course I loved Charlie Wilson, but I get my base is Fred Hammond.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's my base.
Because you can sound like you can
I
mirror Fred.
I mimic
like,
him in
oh
front
my
of him,
God.
and it kind of, one time I think it annoyed him because he had this look on his face like, because I did it so well.
But you in the band with him. You listen to him every day.
every day.
Yeah,
That's
but
who
he has a weird gift
Yeah.
to where he can just
No, but you do too.
not like him.
Nah, you got what y'all
Bro,
hear,
listen.
y'all can recreate.
Listen,
You got a
listen,
gift.
bro. I'm listening to Tyrese demos,
Oh yeah. I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm literally looking at Tyrese. I'm like, so when are you not singing, or when is Eric singing, or who's? So you came in right there, and he's like, I didn't sing any of the songs.
Anything.
No.
I said, it's Eric.
Yeah.
And then so I would start to listening really hard for the cuts
Yeah.
in the movements. Mm-hmm. That's
That's the difference.
only way.
That's the difference. Yeah.
Cause I mean when you're dead on him, you'll try to slide like him a little
Yeah.
bit, but you can't help
I
but
can't
cut
help being
them
me.
notes.
I can't help being me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't help. Okay? You can't help. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
what I'm like. I said, Eric, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. He'll tell you. I can say this. There's some records that are out right now that you don't even know where I'm still singing in.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just certain little things.
Certain little things.
Yeah.
Sauce.
No,
Sauce.
And Tyrese gonna leave him there. He
Listen,
not
Tyrese
gonna
is
leave
like,
him.
I'm like,
He like, you just
why
made my
didn't-
job easier.
Why you didn't change that? He's like,
No.
no.
I'm not. We're gonna keep that.
Yeah,
Reese
absolutely.
gonna keep that. Reese
And
gonna
he
keep
says
that.
we do duets anyway. Like he tells
That's
everybody.
how you do it.
I have one duet with him.
You got
I
one?
have one. Just I like them girls. That's our.
That's
only,
a nice
our,
duet,
That's
though.
our duet. That's our duet.
Listen,
That's a nice duet.
that's the duet
That's the
that
duet.
put me on to Tyrese. No lie, like that joint. Yeah, that's one of
that's
my.
When he
That's
came
our
out with that
duet.
record, I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, Tyrese.
Yeah.
I was like, this. I was like, he's a guy. He was on the motorcycle.
He's on his motorcycle,
Has a
yeah.
shirt on. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you.
I hear you.
No, you heard me.
I hear y'all.
All the background.
I hear y'all. I was
He's
like,
always like, this is featuring J Valentine.
when I
I
was,
should have said that.
those experimental like voice moments are like really that collaborative voice moments. I think.
Yeah.
Those are really dope. That because even when you would sing on my rap like this, I need
Yeah.
some Dawkins on there.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, yours too.
Mine too. Yeah,
Like,
listen.
I can't-
And then we
we-
sung background together.
We was on. We was on. Even when we did when I did birthday. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I said you sound nice.
I was like, nah, because those vocals were from the demo.
Yeah.
Purely just the demo, just us writing and vibing out. And he like, no, Chief, I'm keeping these.
If it works.
I'm like, nah, bro, let me sing that again or something. He's like, nah.
If it works.
You gonna mess up the vibe. I treat you like Puff. It's the energy, fam. Like you gotta.
It's
you
the
hear
love.
that?
It's the love on
You
there.
it's the love on. I'm like Puff, but that's out of scale. It don't matter. Do you feel it?
Is
I feel
that, is
bad
that
about it.
frustrating
I
to you?
feel bad about it.
Is that frustrating to you when you hear something?
You know what it is? You know what it, and I had to learn this from Jay. Right? Sometimes when it's wrong, it's right.
Yeah.
It just I don't know why, but
Is
it
it
is.
feeling?
Yeah.
Puff called me in to do this vocal on Jamie, and he's like, just put him in the right space, right? And so when he turned the track on, and I'm hearing the guy singing, I'm like, okay, I see where it's going. I was like, but he's completely singing out of scale, in the right key, but completely out of scale. I was like, let me fix that, because I don't want my boy Jamie out here.
That makes my ears hurt
Oh,
when I hear
oh
something
man, makes me throw. So I wanted to, I want my boy to go out bad. So I'm like, let me fix that. So I fixed it, makes the adjustments. Jamie comes in, I'm like, let's go. I start vocal producing him. Puff comes back in, he listens, he's like, stop there for a second. He's like, so, but like, are you changing it? I was like, no, I'm not changing it. I was like, I'm just fixing it. And he's like, what do you need fixing? I was like, well, it's out of scale. He's like, I don't even know what that means, Playboy. I said, I don't even know what that means. I said, well, it's out of scale as a singer. Like, I mean, if it's
a certain register
major,
you sing in with a chord.
It's a
like,
major. He's singing in a minor.
In a minor.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was like,
it's a rub.
He said, I hear you saying, but it sounds like you're trying to make him sound like you. Like I need him to sound like play the original. And the original came on, and you know how like something when you really dance to it.
hell
He was
yeah.
like, you feel that? It's got to be that. And I'm listening like this. And I'm like, you want that? He said, I want that. I just want Jamie on it. Like, just get Jamie on that. And I was like, okay. I'll be right back.
Did you go throw up?
I never came back.
You never came back. I don't know this story, but I knew he didn't go back. I knew he didn't go
I
back.
have a similar story.
I didn't know how to coach that.
I have a similar story. They called me in to do vocals for what's your girl rapper Cardi B. They called me in to do vocals on Be Careful With Me. Mm-hmm. First of all, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm trying to get her to sing as good as she can. She's not a singer, but I gave her melodically what she could do with her voice. And the producer was like, I kind of wanted to sing closer to what the demo was doing. But the demo was in a male register. Mm-hmm. Like I said, well, first of all, she's not going to sing that low. So if you think you can get her to sing that low, be my guest. But I don't know. I don't know how to give you her singing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And literally, I did the same thing you did. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna let y'all have it. And I literally left the studio and didn't come back.
Because I don't necessarily know how to operate.
My ear won't let me do it.
See, I don't have no formal training. You know what I mean? No, seriously. Like, I don't. So there are certain parts of me that are still in my head. I still just hear the things that I hear, and I'm like, I get it's wrong. I got enough of that. I got enough experience.
Get this wrong.
To understand that it's wrong, but then I'm like,
But is it wrong though?
this is actually rocking.
You know what it is? It's a DJ playing a track that may be at the right tempo, but completely out of key, and throwing R&B vocals on top of it.
Yeah.
And the club going
They
absolutely crazy. And
I
that's
hear
just
that. It makes it make sense.
it's
to me.
just a
That's
feeling.
Just what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That it took
Which
me a
music
minute
is at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
it took me a minute to figure out.
Yeah.
You
know.
But it still hurts. When I hear it,
y'all ears are tuned
stings
in
the nostrils.
in such a pristine way.
Yeah. It's a
Which-
thing, like, I think because we play
Yeah.
as well, we
Yes.
hear things
No, that's the cheat
that
code.
that people don't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah,
So-
because those keys are going to play a certain way every single time,
and
especially
nothing else.
when it's tuned, right? When you have to fine tuned.
Yeah.
But you guys' ears have been fine tuned.
Yeah.
So it's very tough to get past that unless you have somebody that can hype you and that you trust.
Yeah, there has to
Right,
be somebody
because-
trust. Like,
If a Puff says that, you kind of got to trust it because of the resume.
The resume.
yeah,
You know what I'm
believe
saying?
it.
And what
Yep.
he been doing to the streets and what he been doing
Yep.
to the clubs. It's like
yeah,
something he's saying is right.
I just didn't know any record of his that had crossed that line. You know what I'm saying? Even with Total, even with, all of those things
they worked.
were right.
Yeah, they were right.
They were vocally, sonically, they
So
were
this had
right.
to be before he did Last Night then.
Huh?
Last Night.
This was after.
Because that record
So,
ain't
but,
right.
but I think that's where
and that record is
no,
amazing.
It's
It's-
yeah.
It's some notes in that record where you just like, this don't
It-
add up.
It's flat and sharp.
It's
but it's not out of scale.
Yeah, it's not out of scale.
Okay. You're being technical. Because you know what I mean? Like
It's not out of scale.
It's not out of
no,
scale.
it's not out of scale. But what I'm talking about in a relation.
It is wrong. It is. We wouldn't.
When
do
you
it.
think
No,
it's,
we would correct all that.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
we correct the whole thing.
We
would
But if you
melodyne the crap out
correct
of
it,
It may
it
lose.
don't have that feeling that record has.
It don't relate.
Yeah,
Not as much.
Because, and this is something that I forgot. I wish I could remember who told me this years ago. They were like, your records have to be able for the person who cannot sing to sing
feel
along,
like they
or
sing,
for
yeah.
the person who's drunk. And that's a tough thing. That's like,
Yeah.
you want me to make drunk nigga records? But the music, people are listening to it in so many different spaces.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to get in the club, you want somebody to be able to sing
yeah,
when they tipsy and not feel crazy.
yeah, yeah.
And you want that girl, because the girls on the internet, they be wilding on the internet when they be singing along in their car. You want that girl in the car to be able to sing along.
At your show, singing to the top of her lungs, singing just wrong. All on the audio of her video. I was cracking up, but that's what you want.
That's
Yeah.
what you want,
I mean,
though.
you couldn't tell her that the spotlight was not on her.
And that she wasn't killing it.
And that she was not killing it.
That she wasn't killing it.
But you want that. I get that.
I can't believe you.
But
wrote
I'm
those
always
songs
I'm
for
just gonna
commission.
sing.
I'm sick.
Yeah, bro.
just gonna
You
say
just told us you wrote commission records at 21, then you went to tour with. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was
With the goats, man.
highlight.
No,
of-
that's
one of the highlights of
So
my
that's
career.
really kicking your whole career off.
Yeah, it literally kicked our whole career
Off a bad demo.
Off of a
See,
can't even-
see. It wasn't right.
it was not
But
right.
Fred Hammond heard
Fred
it.
Hammond's heard. He
See?
heard something in it.
See?
But
See?
it was to scale. It was scale.
It was scale.
It was on scale because I played like I didn't sing no wrong. It for me it was more the quality of the demo and
Right.
even some of the lyrics. I'm like,
Even the adolescence of your vocals,
Yeah.
still.
it's like I hear it. I'm like,
I hear some of my old productions, and I'm like, oh,
what?
that's sweet.
who was
I won't even
who was
listen.
telling me
I don't
that
even
this
go
was
back
sweet?
and listen. I don't even go back and listen to some of the stuff. I believe people
Some
are
of-
like, you remember that one song you played me? Nope.
He said
on,
no.
on purpose. On purpose. I don't remember
Do
that.
not remember that song.
So is that where you
Okay.
get your deal with Fred, and then you
Yeah.
finally do the
Fred got us a deal at Benson Records.
Benson? I remember Benson.
Yeah, it was commission, Dawkins and Dawkins, Hezekiah Walker was there, Angelo and Veronica. A lot of the white Christian groups were assigned to Benson. Like it was a a big deal to be on Benson. So he got us our deal there, and from there we started opening up for Commission. Like, so we toured. The first year we were with Commission, we went to London. We didn't open up then because we were just working on our demo, but we went to London this was our first time going overseas, and we got a crash course in the music business from being on the road with Commission and touring. And I'll say this right here: I wasn't a great keyboard player. I played in church, my dad's church, and I played what I knew how to play. But getting on the road and being under Max Frank, he taught me some stuff. And I know Max thought I sucked because he said something one time. We got into a little heated thing. It was in London, as a matter of fact. And he said something to the effect that, you suck. I was like, that's hurtful.
Why you gonna go there?
Kind of true.
It's true, but it's hurtful because I'm like,
I can sing though.
yeah, right. I probably said something like that. I was that kid, like, but give me that microphone.
Yeah.
Give me that microphone. I don't have to play
Mr.
no more.
Ponytail.
Mr. Long Ponytail.
Oh, yeah, long ponytail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had the long, good hair.
Why you pointing at you? Why you pointing at me?
I didn't say you suck, bro.
No, I'm talking about the good hair.
I know, but
You ain't pointing at me?
dang, bro.
It was just a good hair reference. It wasn't. He never told me anything like that. Like,
Tank wants to know why you didn't point at him.
You
Tank
didn't
had
have
waves
long-
when he first came out.
you didn't have, but you didn't have long hair.
I got the waves right now.
Have you ever had long hair? Like, did you ever
I
have
had
a
a
curl?
box.
Did you ever go to the
Had
braids
a
or
box
anything?
fade.
You never went to the braids?
You never even
never
had
braids,
you
no.
never had cornrows, nothing.
Wow.
You really was just in the church, brother.
I didn't want to go through that phase of growing out the
Of
sides.
letting the wild.
Yeah.
Growing out the sides is wild.
No, growing out the sides, it's wild.
It's wild.
It's
It's wild.
I'm-
It's
No, no,
wild.
I've been there.
I didn't have
Growing
that
out
in
the
me.
side, it's like, yeah, I really look like dancing machine for real. This is
It's
crazy.
like dance machines.
This is crazy,
Oh,
boy.
Hilarious.
And you start to try to tell them how to cut it even.
Right. It's like-
I'm gonna let this catch up. So
right.
Just get the top.
It's them in betweens until you get there.
But the Valentine never added any. I never added. I don't, brother.
Wow.
do that,
Is that where
yeah.
you're going?
No. Listen. When you start adding weave so that your braid,
Is that where you're going?
Man.
so that they can what the
Hang
ladies.
time. You want hang
No,
time.
they gotta be able to catch.
You got to catch.
When you start adding
That's
weave,
just wrong.
to your hair as a man, so that they will catch.
The R&B Money Podcast is
It took a turn.
is a fan of everyone doing what they have to do
Listen.
Braids ain't for everybody.
in order to compete.
In order to compete. You gotta keep that little jalapeno at the top too. You gotta keep getting that little jalapeno at the top too. You niggas is wild.
Yo.
You know the top knot.
The top knot. Oh, the top knot. The little.
Benson Records. Let's go, man. Come on, man.
Right. Back to Benson. Benson
Yeah.
Records. So, yeah, we toured for a few years, and then we decided that we wanted to go on our own. Because really what caused that to happen is because we, being the biggest Commission fans, you know how they say never meet your idols?
Yeah.
There was some stuff that we started seeing internally in the group that made us kind of start, separating ourselves. And there was an opportunity. We needed management, and Fred's brother Raymond wanted to manage us. And me and Anson had already been talking about it. But his mother, Mildred, God rest her soul, and Raymond, they had a management company that they were managing people, and they wanted to manage us. And we were like, "No, we got other management." And it hit the fan from there. Cause
You didn't take the management.
no.
Yeah.
And it became a point of contention between us and Fred.
Yeah.
And literally, we were out here on a run, and he came to me in Anson's room when he found out that we had, secured outside management. He was hot. He was, turning red hot. Like, came to our room, was like, I should just fire y'all now. And we was just sitting there like, okay. Because at that point, we had learned what to do and what not to do, and how we wanted to be viewed. And so for us, it was like we need to do a little sidestep. Didn't fire us. We stayed with the band for a little bit, and then we ended up doing a play. They didn't take Anson. They took me. So I was on the road doing a play with Commission, several of the guys in the group, and they were supposed to put Anson on a retainer because he was at home. He wasn't touring. And I found out that they weren't sending him no money. So I just said, okay, when the play is over, I'm done. Me and Anson, we're done with Commission. We're not going back out on the road with y'all. We're just going to go and do our own thing. And so from there, we went. It was just us.
What year was that?
That was 94. 94 when the second record came out. First one came out in 93. Second one came out in 94.
Word Up is on which one?
Word Up is on the second record.
Second one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. On Necessary Measures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word Up, Miracle,
yeah.
Rain on Me, Whenever I'm Lonely. And those were the R&B joints because we had Tim Thomas and Teddy Bishop. They produced
Teddy Bishop. Okay, yeah.
Tim and Ted, they produced those 4 songs for the record. We spent time in Atlanta with them, and that's where I met John Tay.
Yeah.
Like John Tay was young John Tay. He was about between 12 and
Teenager.
14.
Yeah, he was super little.
Hanging out with us in the studio. Like, that's how I know John Tay. Like, he was doing the CNN thing. He was one of the CNN kids, like doing the newscasting on CNN kids.
Yeah, Jonte's special.
He's been special from
the
kid.
rip. Yeah. Jonte's special.
So yeah, we had a young management team, some cats from Morehouse that was managing us, got us, we gospel act performed at Freaknik one year.
Yeah, as you should.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah.
That's where you need the gospel.
We were at Freaknik one year.
That's where you need it.
Boy, I would have been like, man. I'm sorry, baby girl. My bad.
He said,
My bad for hunching on you, man.
Hilarious.
Yes, Dawkins and Dawkins.
that's what the crowd need to be.
You gotta get to the people. You need a church at Freaknik.
I mean,
That's what you
that
need 'em.
if there was any place that needed some church, it was Freaknik. Like some of the stuff that I saw, we was church. We was
Holy Rollers.
love the Lord.
No. So you're my brother, so I know these things. People don't know when you say, when we was church. We was church.
We was church.
Right? Like, they don't know can't go to the movies.
Oh yeah, no, we were.
Which,
we were raised
you gotta give us, yeah.
We were raised Pentecostal, apostolic. Like, we weren't going to movies. We wasn't going to sporting events. Me and Anson didn't go to our prom. Like, and it seemed crazy, but until later on in life when I thought about it, like, man, it was always a state meeting going on when the council was going on, and when the prom was going on. So we were at council, so we wouldn't have been able to go to the prom anyway. We were at some other church, some other city. It's like, did y'all plan this? So we couldn't go they knew around time prom was happening, so we was always at church meetings and stuff. But the flip side of that is me and Anson never missed any of that because we were so into music that was everything to us. Like, I didn't care that I didn't go to a football game or basketball game and that kind of stuff. But then me and my brother started coming into our own understanding. Yeah. And having our own relationship with God and started questioning our parents. Like, so where in the Bible does it say don't go to the movies? Because I'm sure they didn't have movie theaters back in the Bible day.
I doubt it.
Sure they weren't doing that.
I doubt it.
So what makes the movie so wrong?
Yeah.
I said, well, it's the environment. It's like, what's happening in the movies?
Popcorn and
it's
Raisinets.
popcorn and,
A little soda.
You can't be in the
Twizzlers.
dark with nobody.
You can't.
I was like, do you understand what we see at school? You can't be in the dark.
I'm trying to make sense of it, bro.
I understand that, like, because some people will come to the movie.
I was just trying to make
You never know
Like
what
one
you're
big
going to do.
Man,
At the movie theater. Like, there are not people there to stop stuff from happening. Like,
Oh my God.
So that was, one thing. And then we said, but we have HBO on TV. Do you know the stuff that we can see on HBO?
Oh, y'all had that though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
We started questioning, like, something may adding up here. Like, you got HBO on the TV at home. Like, so when y'all ain't watching, when y'all ain't looking, I'm like,
Yeah, HBO After
Do you
Dark.
just think that
What you
moms
mean?
and pops didn't want to give y'all that extra $20 to go to the movie? The Lord said.
listen. And at a point, it wasn't even that because me and my brother, we worked. Like, we had jobs, like, at 16 and 17, like, while we were still in school. So I was dating this girl that was going, she lived in Columbus. She was going to Columbus State University. And one weekend, I went down there to hang out with her, to stay with her or whatever, and we went to the movies. Mm-hmm. It was my first movie ever.
How old are you?
I was
Like 18, 19?
18.
Your first movie, okay.
My first movie, 18. And so whatever movie came out that year, it was like 89, I want to say. 89. So it was either Ghost or Jurassic Park. I know I saw both of those movies.
If you went to go see Ghost as your first movie, you jumped right in.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in, and I was with my girl too.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a love story for real, like. But it was cool, like. And I was thinking to myself while I was in the movie, like, why is this the first time I'm coming to a movie? Like, I gotta wait till it come on HBO or get rent a what you call them thing?
VHS?
Yeah, videotape, like the VHS.
That was Blockbuster days back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like early Blockbuster. So I'm like, this don't make no sense because it was nothing. It was really cool in the movie theater. Like I ain't seen nobody.
You've never seen a screen that big and
And I ain't seen
nobody there doing
movie
that.
theater is different, bro. That's a whole experience.
Yeah, it's a whole experience, and it's like so that really made me and Anson start questioning our parents to the point where my parents started going to the movies. The bishop and first lady started
Not the
going to the
bishop
movies.
and first
Yeah,
lady.
first lady. So over the past, I want to say the past 10, maybe 15 years before my dad passed, they would go to the movies almost every Monday night. That was their date night.
Wow.
Like literally.
And it took for y'all to get older.
It took for us to get older and start
be like,
questioning,
yo,
like,
why
there's
y'all don't-
nothing, there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a cool environment. You get the experience of the sound, and you get your popcorn, you get your whatever you want from the concession, and it's just cool. It's just you and whoever's there with you.
Do you think that, or do you know if they had ever went before that?
No, they had never gone to the movies.
Neither one of your parents.
I think probably my dad when he was younger, because my dad was, he went in the military, like he was, and my dad was Baptist for however many years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he had a life before he really started evangelizing and stuff. So I think he may have gone to like a drive-in.
Yeah.
Back then that was the hot thing.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
was
saw
the thing.
Aliens at the drive-in.
That so I'm sure he did back
I
then.
think I saw
but
Colors at the truck. You know what?
Color?
Whatever.
Hilarious.
Geneva Drive-In, man. It's
Different.
By the
I
Cow Palace.
understand. Colors at the
I don't
drive-in.
know, man.
That did not go well. That did
Used to be a shootout at Geneva Drive-In.
Listen, you
All the
looking over your shoulder like,
What?
is this the movie we came to see
Now when your
outside?
family is
Hold up, sidebar. Hold up, sidebar. Ain't it crazy how niggas know it's gonna get active and
And
niggas
still
go
go.
anyway?
Still go?
Because it's crack.
It's cracking.
It's the adrenaline rush,
But it's
knowing that
some point-
something could.
That's what
actually
your parents are trying to
jump
keep you
off.
away from.
I'm
The movie
sure.
that I was going to. That I shouldn't have been able to
Yeah,
go
they,
to.
They
no.
probably was, but
And then they would put us under the blanket and drive to, because you have
'Cause
to
you
pay for
couldn't.
everybody. But
That's
all
hilarious.
the kids get under the blanket.
Get down, get down, get down.
I think
That's
my cousin
funny.
had to get in the trunk one time.
But yeah, that was my upbringing. So the fact that me and Anson turned out the way we did, like we weren't listening to secular music in the house. It wasn't until I think we started having me and Anson had our own. We had our room downstairs in the basement of our house in Tennessee, and had our own TV, our own bathroom in our room and stuff. So it was
cracking.
lit.
Yeah.
And right outside the door had my piano and a little sofa area. So we had our little apartment
Do you
situation.
remember the first R&B record you heard?
It had to be. I actually do. It was Parliament.
Hey man, you be jumping right in the water. You went to the P-Funk
P-Funk.
as your first record.
My aunt.
Hey, man.
Listen, my aunt. She
Went to the
To the
you be jumping
P-Funk.
right in. Like, no, it was, I remember in Kansas, my aunt, she put on a Parliament record, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Man.
George Clinton, man.
George Clinton, man.
That sparked something in me. So from there, she took me and Anson to our first secular concert. It was at an amusement park in Kansas City called Worlds of Fun, and saw Kool and the Gang. That was the first concert I'd ever been to.
Oh yeah, you
Cool
was
in the
at least
Gang.
you was getting put onto the right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it was
getting
you
the right
jumped right
stuff.
into the right stuff.
He getting
It
the right
was all
stuff.
the right musical
Yeah.
stuff to follow. So, and that was our introduction into like R&B, and then we started, of course we would hear Stevie Wonder and the Gap Band and stuff like that, and that's what we kind of gravitated toward. But gospel wise, it was always Rance Allen. So we listened to people that were a little more progressive. Rance Allen, Andre Crouch, the Hawkins. Those were our staples coming up. But R&B, we started watching a show that neither one of y'all probably even remember called Night Tracks. They would play R&B videos like late. And I remember Stevie Wonder. Luther Vandross and Stevie Wonder.
I remember when that song was hot.
Yeah.
I can't remember what girl. I was a kid. I was in elementary school.
I don't know why I always get that record. Whenever I hear that record, I always think of Eddie Murphy's record too. I always think of like Part-Time Lover and Party All the Time. I don't know what
Not
it
in the
is.
same
It's not the
world.
same at
They're
all.
on the
For some
other
reason, I used
side.
to always think that whenever Eddie Murphy started singing, he was trying to sing
Like
and be Stevie Wonder. You
He
can
was
tell that
because
he
he had
just loved
sunglasses
Stevie
on.
Wonder.
Yeah, that was his thing.
That
his
was I
thing.
remember because I used to stay in my cousin's room, sleep with my cousins, on my cousin's floor, and get up and go to school every day. And her radio would come on in the morning, like alarm clock, and that would be the song.
Wow.
Part-Time Lover?
Part-Time Lover. That was one of the songs that
That
would
was
be playing.
waking y'all up.
So my cousin was like everybody else was super churchy, but my cousin was like, she was the balance. She was like this.
Do all that.
I'm going to such and such. I'm going to the park. I'm going like she was.
Yeah.
She was like our cool big cousin. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I remember that song like we
that's
just.
my aunt. She was the cool auntie. Like she was it for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's really the one that introduced us into
The R&B
the
world.
R&B world like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, we listened to stuff that if we watched like award shows and stuff, of course you would see.
The artist, yeah.
A funny story. My dad, oh my God, I had to be 9 years old. I'm in the shower singing. I'm doing the whole thing. And, at 8, I got the.
You got the whistle, yeah.
We get to Bible study. While my dad talked about me singing that song in the shower, I was mortified.
He used you?
He used me as an example in his message.
See how the secular world
In
can
my
get on
own home. Y'all need to take me with y'all sometime, man. So I can
in
get
my own home. Yo, I just know I was mortified.
Oh man.
But the crazy part
That
is
is so funny.
the crazy part is it went from
You look
that
just like Denzel.
right in my own home.
I didn't look like a preacher?
No.
No.
Like Denzel.
Like
It was
Denzel.
definitely Denzel. But it was the crazy part. My dad went from that to want me to sing Honey, you are my shining star. Don't you go away.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want me to sing that for who? He's trying to get me to sing it for one of his friends because he'd heard me singing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you make fun of me singing Minnie Riperton, but I can sing this song. Okay.
Yeah.
Double standard right there.
Something ain't right with you.
Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
You
But
listen to the R&B
listen,
too.
right? You know you listen to that stuff,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna start listening to it. But it was. I mean, it became a balance though. They didn't really say anything about us listening to secular music because
Once y'all was grown.
once we, I mean, not even grown. We were teenagers, and they knew who we were. They knew how we were.
And
who we were.
you knew who you were.
Yeah. So
right.
they weren't afraid of us, getting all caught up in all that stuff. So it was just music to us. So it wasn't what we didn't get caught up in the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. It was like the sound of it resonated with us, and we would create. Like me and Anson were the musicians in my dad's church that would be playing like during the
for sure.
yeah. So
we
that
know
kind of
those guys.
stuff, we take a secular song and
Yeah.
just kind of infuse it into what was going on in
Yeah.
the service, and the older folks wouldn't know. The kids,
But the kids be going crazy.
was loving it.
Yeah.
They was back there rocking.
We
Like,
used to do that.
Yeah, that's fly.
Doom, doom, boom. We used to do, oh my God.
yo,
We
that
go crazy.
stuff. I mean, that made me and Anson really fall in love with music. Seeing the reaction that it would give to you know our friends and stuff. Like, oh yeah, we gonna do this. Pied Piper-ish.
So as you and Anson move away from, commission and move more so into doing your own thing, how does that getting out of the nest feel, and how does it move?
I mean, it felt good to us because we really, I mean, from jump, our first record, the one that came out in '93, was Everybody Needs Somebody. Fred, he let us produce our own record. Mm-hmm. Like he did, what producers do. He added stuff to, certain things, but he literally, it was hands-on for us, like on the job training type situation. He let us do what we do and develop our craft on our project. So once we got on our own, it was like, this is what we've been doing all the time. So we just, we'll make our own path, forge our own path and see what happens. But it was the parts of it that weren't glamorous were the, we're called trailblazers or trendsetters, and, the ones that blaze the trail don't really get to enjoy.
Gotcha, for sure.
So like the architect doesn't get to enjoy the building that he designed other than being able to look at it. Other people are enjoying that.
Absolutely.
I built this mansion. I'm not going to live in it. Somebody else is going to enjoy that. So that part of it was it wasn't sexy.
No, it's tough being first.
Yeah, it's definitely
Absolutely.
All right, just even being one of the first, not even just
One of
saying
the
you're
first.
the
Yeah.
first, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
tough.
tough,
It's
'cause
tough being
You're the
first.
sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Definitely
For
with
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Because our first record and Kirk's record came out the same year. Because this is Kirk's 30-year anniversary as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
But then 2 years after ours came out, I think, no, it wasn't even 2 years. It was 5 years. Mary came out in '98. And we literally had people saying, they just doing the same thing that y'all been doing since '93. Just, I was like, we can't really look at it like that.
Right.
I mean, it's literally their time. Somebody had to lay the groundwork so
sure.
stuff like this would be
sure.
accepted. So we never felt any kind of way. Other people felt ways. They was like, man, that should be y'all.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
No, it wasn't meant for you.
It wasn't meant for us. We did
Wasn't
exactly
time
what we
either.
we
Wasn't
did
time.
exactly what we were
Yeah.
supposed to do. And so that part of it, if we were the type of people that listened to what everybody else said, then we'd probably be, bitter. Like, man, forget gospel. I ain't doing
But
this.
also it's a thing too where people on the outside try to dictate how you should be blessed
Yeah. Yeah.
and what
Absolutely.
what you're supposed
What
to have.
they
and
think you're
what
blessed.
They
think-
project. Yeah,
what
they
they think
project.
you're supposed to have. And you're like, I don't think you understand how happy I am.
Yeah, you don't
I
understand.
don't think
This
you
is-
understand how fulfilled I am within my purpose and the direction that God has me going in.
Yeah.
I'm
Listen,
all right.
When we get stories like we have people tell us that our record saved them from committing suicide.
Yeah.
Just one of those stories
those.
makes everything we went through worth it.
Yeah.
Like literally, like a guy out of San Diego, said his roommate was going through a divorce, had lost his job, and he just fell into this dark place, and he locked himself in his room and would not come out for days. And so he said, I slid one of you guys' CD under the door and told him, just listen to this. And literally, he put that CD on and kept it on repeat and ended up coming out of the room and said, this CD saved my life. Like, I was literally in here trying to think of how I could end my life.
Wow.
And dude, when I heard that, I was like, yo, if I don't do another song,
Yeah.
that right there was the gratitude.
That's success in itself.
That's success.
That is.
That's definitely success. And Anson, he says it so well. He used to tell people, because they would ask us like, do you guys, what do you guys consider success? He's like, we don't measure our level of success by what we have or what we've accumulated. We measure our level of success by our obedience to God. If we're doing what he asked us to do or what he told us to do, that's successful to us. Like, because it ain't about the cars or the houses and all that kind of stuff, because none of that stuff is eternal.
Yeah.
So for us, it's never been about the awards, the money, none of that stuff. Obviously, because you're not getting rich off of doing gospel if you're not really doing some other stuff. I'd say that. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. You know, because usually it just would be the point where I ask, but I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to mind my business. 'Cause,
No, it's not. It's not everybody, but there are. There are some gatekeepers that people talk about. I've never experienced anything, but just from what people say,
they're not doing gospel business.
It's questionable.
Yeah.
Questionable.
But to each his own. Me and Anson
Ain't
love.
that what they said about Big Red's books in the 5 Heartbeats? About his questionable practices?
Questionable.
That's funny, the 5 Heartbeats reference. But no, we really pride ourselves on being as authentic and just us as we can be. Like, we not following the trends. We're not trying to listen to what's going on now and make a record that sounds like that. We've just always been like, if the music makes us feel good, then we're good.
Then you do it. That's what
But,
you do.
but I think also too, like, you guys were so dope and so good and so inspirational to so many people that, even those artists that do come after you that have those opportunities because of what you guys went through, you're able to hear that firsthand.
Yeah.
You're able to get those handshakes and hugs.
Yeah, because they tell us.
Flowers first. Oh,
they
absolutely.
definitely say it to
Absolutely.
us. I mean, and I think probably one of the first moments that I had that made me realize, oh, so we really making some noise. I'll never forget, we were on the 3rd floor, the Underdogs. Teddy Riley came to the studio. I'd never met Teddy Riley. Came to the studio. He was showing Damon something on some new keyboard thing. And as he's coming off the elevator, I'm going out the door, and I'm like, oh, snap. Yo, Teddy Riley is one of the moments like that. And I went to introduce myself. I was like, I'm Eric Dawkins. He's like, oh, I know who you are. I was like, but you know who I am? He's like, yo, me and my boys, we listen to you and your brother and Commission and the Winans on our tour bus all the time. That's all we listen to when we on tour. I literally was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go home now because nothing else I can do here.
Matter of fact, I'm good for life.
I'm good. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the biggest compliments. Like, to know that cats like that listen to us, and like, he was a fan, like a for real fan. And me and Teddy are friends to this day. From that moment, like what do you mean? Dawkins and Dawkins?
crazy.
Like, literally, Dawkins and Dawkins, Commission, and the Winans was all they would listen to on their tour bus.
Wow.
When they touring.
You can hear that.
Same thing from Boys to Men. Wanye told me his dad put him on to Dawkins and Dawkins.
Wow.
Like, he listened to Dawkins and Dawkins as a kid. Like, y'all are like the GOATs. Y'all the gospel legends. Like,
That's incredible. That's incredible.
So Omarion talking about, my mom used to play y'all stuff when she be cleaning up the house. Like, I've been a fan of yours for years. Like, I was like,
He was a baby.
He's
an actual baby.
Actual baby. Like, so that kind of stuff.
That makes
hearing
it,
that.
Yeah.
It
When
makes,
you realize how many people the music touched.
Yeah.
And people in other spaces and other genres of music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or not
know
even
what I
in
mean?
music. I heard that, this one blew my mind. Shantae Moore, a dear friend of mine now. She was married before, like, years. She she would come hang out sometime when we come out here with commission. So she's hanging out with us one time, and her former husband, they had a record store. They owned a record store. And she told me that, or her husband at the time, he told me that Wesley Snipes came in their store and bought like 15 of our CDs. Because he was a fan and he wanted to give
Blade?
the CD. Blade. That's why I said Blade.
Nino Brown.
Nino Brown. This is
Bigger
the
than Nino
Dawkins.
Brown.
Way bigger.
This is bigger than Nino Brown.
What?
Dude, Wesley Snipes
Yeah.
was a Dawkins and Dawkins fan.
Oh,
Like,
that's
I'm like,
incredible.
that
you just,
kinda
you just
stuff-
never know.
You never know.
never know.
You never know. So
never
I don't
know.
even
Word.
get tripped
Yeah.
out when, when we don't get the accolades and all that kind of stuff. I was like, we moving in some areas
In
that
some different spaces.
yeah. It's
So
different.
who did you make the decision, or did someone grab you from the R&B world that put you in a space where you became this very sought after vocal producer, and ultimately king songwriter?
Yeah, how you get here?
Like how
How you get on my side?
what was it? You know what I mean? Like, you had already did your thing in gospel. You were you had your footprint in gospel.
It's this story goes back to when I lived in Detroit. Me and a friend of mine named Chaka Blackman.
Okay.
He used to do beats and stuff in Detroit, and so I met him through some mutual friends in Detroit. I think Marcus Divine introduced
Marcus?
us. Yeah. The Heat Miser. He introduced us. And Gerald Haddon, like we all ran together. Gerald, Dietrich, me,
And they all from Detroit.
all from Detroit.
Okay.
So they
Where they have amazing singers.
yeah, amazing. So they
R&B and
introduced
gospel.
they introduced me and Chaka, and they were doing stuff with Chaka, but Chaka, he took a liking to me. Like, we started collaborating on stuff, and one thing led to another. We ended up, he was doing R&B. He wasn't doing no gospel. So I'm kind of literally like kind of sneaking doing this, like, I'm writing love songs. Now, you write love songs? That's what you're doing? Mm-hmm. And so I tried my hand at it, and it was like, it worked.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing, I think one of the first R&B groups that I worked with, you probably never heard the song, was Brownstone. Brownstone and a group called Solo. They did this wedding song that we wrote. So we ended up going to Philly. We were at, what's the popular studio there at the time was Will Smith and all them cats. I forget,
Overbrook.
Uh-huh. We worked out of Overbrook Studios, did this duet with them. That was my first ever R&B.
And how old are you at this point?
I was probably maybe 22, because this is after I had moved to Detroit.
Okay.
So we traveling and doing stuff. We traveled to New York working with some other groups and stuff. So that's when I really started doing R&B, probably 90, maybe 92, 93-ish. Because I was still with Commission and doing stuff with Chaka. So cut to like 95, started having little issues with my first marriage, and then decided to leave Detroit because I was like, I got to get out of here. I need a different scenery, because I felt like it was going to take away who I was musically if I stayed there. Just because, and even the mentality in Detroit is crab in a barrel. Like, not a lot of cats want to help each other to get out. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get out, but everybody's me, every man for himself. But when I found Chaka, he was like, hey man, like whatever I'm working on, like you can work on with me. And he had connections out here, so we ended up coming out here. And after saying I would never move to California, like California, New York, I was like, nah, I'm good. Came out here, going through the separation, divorce, and whatever. Came out here in '96 and never looked back.
Saw them palm trees.
First deal I did out here, we did a production deal. Me, Chaka, and another friend of ours, Stephen Brown, did a deal with John McClain, A&M Records. That was our first production deal. Like, so I was here. Like, and from then, that led to us working with Christina Aguilera on. We ended up co-writing "Come On Over."
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I knew that. I knew that. I knew that.
Co-writing
Yeah,
"Come On
you know,
Over."
you know when you meet somebody and the other person that's like the introducer, or I don't even know if that's the actual word, who makes the introduction. That's for people that don't know. In this industry, when somebody's making an introduction, they're also giving off credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's like, oh, yo, this is my guy, such and such, who did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if they're even before, if you don't hear him or do hear him, when they just know, they ran off your credits.
Yeah.
Because that's absolutely what my guy Kenny was like.
I want you to meet the guy that did
Eric Dawkins. You know,
he's
he
right
did
over
it.
here.
He did.
I
You know,
met
he doing
Kenny. I met Kenny through Chaka though, because Kenny used to cut Chaka's hair. That's how I knew Kenny, and so that whole connection, like from Christina, like her first the Christmas record, I did like 5 joints on there, and I'm
you
actually
had
featured
joints.
singing on Angels We Have Heard on High on that record. And from there, she wanted me to do all her vocals for the stripped record. So I did every song that Scott Storch produced. I did the vocals for Christina, and that's what got me into the pop world. Ron Fair, Ron Fair is he's the reason for me being the pop guy. Like, and that lasted for a few years, and then ran into Damon, met Damon, and from there went into the whole Underdog situation.
What year did you start writing with the Underdogs?
It was 2001, I believe it was.
2001.
The year that How You Gonna Act Like That came out. That's when I started.
That's you first got there.
Yeah, that was the first R&B song that I wrote, like that got.
That.
That's your first R&B hit.
It's your first hit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Out the
Didn't
gate,
know that.
like,
What year did that
Didn't know
drop?
that. Didn't know that.
2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Had to
Right,
be
came out in
2002.
2002, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you probably
Yeah, we
wrote
did
it
in
in 2001.
2001. Yeah.
When it
Because
came
that
out-
was also on the next album after the album with I Like Them Girls on it. They're not on
But
the
that
same
was-
album. 2001.
it was next. It was the next album.
next album
Okay.
after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, it's interesting, man, because how all of our paths crossed through that. Like, obviously we had met,
Before.
before at the barbershop, and then you had met Tank through, commission, or you said Fred, Fred Hammond. But obviously the way we truly connected and we really created our brotherhood amongst us three was through the Underdogs.
The Underdogs.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
the Underdog starts in 99. Yeah, somewhere around in 98, 99.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all know it starts with Damon, Harvey, and myself. Interestingly enough, it turned into something later when I left the first time, where it became this super team. When I came back and I meet you, I meet you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It had become this like Voltron.
Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying? And, and
pretty
this,
much.
This transformer of just amazingly talented guys that I could have never imagined that's what it was going to turn into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the initial startup was Dark Child.
Yeah.
It was Rodney, Freddie, and LaShawn. Damon and Harvey were Rodney and Freddie, and I was LaShawn Daniels. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what
That's a great analogy. Yeah, that's
that's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like because Harvey had come from Dark Child, so this is because it was of his mind of what we were going into. Me and Damon were already working together.
Yeah,
we were already working together, and this, when Harvey came to play basketball, and then Damon stole him, pretty much. That's how I looked at it. I was like, yo, he stole Harvey. I was like, I didn't even know what Harvey did. I didn't even know what Harvey did. Later on, I find out that Harvey kind of stole us. Pretty much. It all just, you know what I mean? Harvey came with the Dark Child sounds.
He got everything.
Now it's real great.
Yeah. Now we was cracking. You know what I'm saying? Because I Like Them Girls is 100% a Dark Child record.
Absolutely. That's a funny story. Before you finish, I walked into the studio. Freddie and LaShawn were working on a record with Destiny's Child for some soundtrack. And I was like, yo, like them girls, that joint is sweet.
No, you did.
I promise on everything. We were at Vicky Mac Studios.
I know the whole
in
move.
Inglewood.
I know the whole move switched.
And listen, Freddie and LaShawn was at the console now. We boys, like we family for years. They both look like we didn't do that song. Like, sure he did. That's y'all
sound.
Wait a minute, y'all didn't do that? And they was like, no, we didn't do that. That was Harvey and Damon. I was like, no, that sound like Dark Child. I was being
Adamant.
petty. Like, no, that's Dark Child all day. The sounds, like the guitars, the drums, like it has all the Dark Child elements.
It was dark.
And they knew something I didn't know at the time.
Right.
So
right.
I was like, wow.
Because
I love the song. It didn't take away from
it was
what the song
very
was.
low key until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because that record steamrolled the music business. And not this is before the record ever comes out. That record steamrolled the music business. Multiple people bought that record. Multiple people sang that record. And it was one of those things where it went to the highest bidder. Tyrese ended up being the highest bidder at the end of the day. But it made waves. Like, what is this? Because, and this is something that was different in that song too, was that LaShawn and I were very different writers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We come from very different places. Our mindsets were very different. So it was a Dark Child record with a very aggressive top line.
Yeah.
If you listen to that record, I'm literally saying parking lot pimping.
Yeah.
Like I say that I say that on an R&B song. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, it's gonna be straight parking lot pimping. So that in itself too made it like, yo, this is way more aggressive. Because Dark Child records
they were clean.
They were clean, and that's why they were so amazing too. Because it was like, yo, they getting it off.
Oh,
yeah.
They are getting it off, and it can go in so many places because it's so clean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I Like Them Girls was aggressive, and it just gave a different styling to
loved it though.
what they were, what they had already done.
Loved that record. And when the visual came out,
but we were absolutely stealing. For sure. That's a Dark Child record.
But I mean,
no, ain't no but I was a part of it. So,
it was definitely thievery.
I'm in there dancing.
It was thievery.
Oh, we got us a Dark Child.
it was definitely thievery at its best. Thievery at its best, but it was still a great song. Like,
people loved it. No, people loved it.
It's hard to, like, stealing is one thing. Doing a good job is another.
It's another. Yeah. It's definitely another. Y'all did a good job at that stealing.
It worked out.
It definitely worked out.
I think I got attracted to the movement with how you gonna act like that.
A lot of people tell me that.
That's what was part of me coming back.
That's what brought me to the building.
Act like that?
How You Gonna Act Like That came out, and me and my guys are sitting there listening to him like, who is that? I'm like, he's like, you think it's Cisco? I was like, nah, that ain't Cisco. He ain't that clean. And it was like, it ain't Avant. I'm like, who is it? Somebody was like, it could be Tyrese. I was like, nah, Tyrese ain't nice like that. Then somebody said, it is Tyrese. I said, how?
Huh? Right? How? How?
Who he working with? How'd he get that?
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, the sound was so, y'all had Tyrese in such a crazy space that I was like, because me and Tyrese had already, we had already, went back and forth with each other. I had already jumped on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I know what he can do. Mm-hmm. He cool. He cool.
He can't do this, though.
We in competition, though. He cool. He ain't like me, though.
Yeah. But now he had just hit a game-winning 3 on me.
He just hit a game-winning 3 on me. Hey, that how you gonna act like that? It took him up. I was like this.
No. That's definitely the.
I was so mad.
Yeah,
I was like, who did it? Who did it?
And that was also the establishment of what that sound became.
That was
yeah.
the establishment.
Like that record
Completely.
established, the Underdogs sound different.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I said, I'm very honest. That first record we did, I Like Them Girls, it was what they call it, plagiarism.
Plagiarism. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, absolutely. We were
Little small
copying.
bites and nibbles.
Yeah, we were copying something that was super cracking.
Yep. Mhm.
And that is ultimately the cheat code, kids. If you want to get cracking real quick,
Real fast.
you
Do
go
something-
do what's
yeah.
controlling the radio.
Period.
Right now.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, there are guys out here who have, pieces of Drake,
Yep.
pieces of Future, pieces of Chris, a lot of Chris
Lot of
Brown.
pieces of Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Wow,
A lot of Chris
you
Brown.
guys have to relax, kids.
Just chill out.
You gotta
chill out on
relax.
Chris.
I know he
Chill
lets
out.
you come play basketball every now and then,
You
but
gotta
you're not
chill.
Chris
You
Brown.
gotta
You
chill.
gotta chill.
He's still here.
You know what I mean?
Still
But not
here.
even that he's still here. You just can't take that much.
Yeah.
Like they get a little bit of Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like they get a little Future. They get a little baby. They be taking a whole Chris Brown record. Like, bro,
Absolutely.
you
Like-
gotta chill.
And the other part is that you're not gonna be Chris.
Right, because the dance moves be
You
tricky.
can't, yeah.
But once you guys did How You Gonna Act Like That, like I said, I'm an original guy with those guys. I was like, this is different.
You established something quick,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is rare.
A full sound.
That fast.
A full sound from the top line to the tracks to how Harvey was making it sound like you weren't singing with auto-tune, but you were singing
really
through
was singing
auto-tune.
Yeah.
It was this. It was.
Yeah.
It was everybody trying to figure out how Brandy was doing it.
Yeah.
And let's stop and say this first. Brandy, vocally
Unmatched.
unmatched,
Period.
with no reverb, no process,
Sitting in here.
no anything,
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the raw.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Now we're done. Now we can go back. But that's where I first even used auto-tune with Dark Child.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this in my ear? And Sean was like, it's fine, just sing along with it.
Yeah, right.
I was like, what do you mean? Just sing along
What
with
do you
it.
mean?
Like, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
And
It's a second voice. Like,
I was like, it's a second voice singing with me. Somebody's in here, right? And that little sonic, that little nuance, whatever auto-tune adds to a vocal was now on Tyrese's voice.
yeah.
And I was like, what is that?
You got to know the settings.
You got to know the
You
settings.
gotta know the settings.
Yeah.
So
You
it
gotta
wasn't.
know the settings.
It wasn't that. I mean, it was that kind of. Tyrese was kind of unrecognizable, but at the same time, it was like he had upgraded.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing, the other element amongst that too is that although Damon is from the church as well, Damon has dirty church on him. Damon doesn't play clean.
At all.
Damon don't play clean.
Yeah.
So that marriage between
He's all over the place.
between Harvey sonically and Damon in Dirty Church and all over the place, they found this amazing space.
Yeah, they found a great space.
Yeah, they did.
A
A very dangerous guy and a very calculated guy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
This is a perfect
match.
man. So
Yeah.
Yin yang.
I go see Tyrese at House of Blues. He about to do a show. And I'm like, nigga, dude, kid, this record is crazy. Who did this record? He said, I'm finna show you. We go upstairs. We go upstairs, and he's like, this crowd is whatever. He's like, dang, this Damon Thomas, he did How You Gonna Act Like That? I'm like, I looked at him, I said, nigga, that record crazy. He said,
He big leagued you.
I said, I gotta work with you niggas. He's like,
That's so stupid, but it's so funny.
man,
That's great.
at that point, the song was so exciting to me.
You didn't care.
I didn't
Whatever.
care.
I didn't
When I'm gonna get in with you niggas?
I didn't
Like,
care.
when we
Tyrese said
get
one
there.
up me. I needed to be up
gotta
too.
get this
Whatever
dude
y'all
back.
got him on, I want to be on it.
Right.
And I come up to that building, man, and
Because what year do you get there?
first I got there to work. in 2003.
Three? I think it was 3.
To work on your project.
Work on my project, 2003, and that's when I do
The wedding song.
Wedding song. Yeah.
And
This is my wedding song.
Dum, dum, dum.
almost made me cry.
Cause you was going through it.
I was
real
going
life.
through that.
In real life.
I think that's why we wrote it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we
you
had a
didn't.
conversation.
Y'all didn't know me.
We had to have a conversation.
My mama.
I knew you.
I walked in, and I said, Dave was, we got something to play. It's crazy. It's incredible. I sit down. It was in the little room.
Oh, right. The front room.
And I sit down, and y'all start playing that song, and I'm like,
that was stiff. Look. It's crazy.
Boy.
Y'all got one right there. Y'all got one with that one.
Can I
That
have
was nice. I like that. And there was another song we did. I think it was I can't remember the other song we did, but we did 2 songs.
I probably got it in my computer.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure we got to pull that up.
Yeah.
And things went further bad with me and Barry. He didn't want to pay for the songs and all that stuff, and so so I kind of wasn't up there then.
So you
then
had to go do dishes at the studio.
I was still.
I said, so that means you had to go do dishes when you can't pay for your meal. You had to go.
Hey, I couldn't pay for the song, so I was like, I'm gonna just keep working. And back then, I was back and forth with Jamie all the time.
Yeah.
And then Bishop, who was on the 4th floor.
Oh, Bishop.
My guy Bishop.
Yeah,
He
Bishop.
hit me, was like, he's working on some stuff for like John B and all that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna come through. So I go upstairs and I'm showing up to work on the 4th floor with Bishop. I be passing Harvey and everything. What up, guys? Good to see you guys. And so one day I run into Harvey, and he's like, man, this is crazy how you just you keep going up to that 4th floor, working on music.
Like talking like that.
And
Hey, buddy.
You haven't stopped down here to say hi or do anything. This is. I just think it's crazy. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come sit with y'all. See what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think you being there was just like, cause like when we talked to business, I was like, this business don't sound right.
Yeah.
Cause I'm coming fresh off of doing 7 songs on Dave Hollister's album by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I see where there could be room for growth.
Yeah.
But the sound was so crazy.
Yeah.
My shit didn't sound like that.
No, they had masters.
I was making what I felt like was good music.
Yeah.
But when I got on that 3rd floor, I said, oh, there are levels.
Because sonically they were just incredible.
We had it.
And you demoing and singing
Everything.
Yeah.
along with that, what they were doing, I was like, I just have to be part of it, whatever it costs.
Whatever. Yeah.
I got to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this, I was geeked just because you was gonna be a part of it. Like, Tank is gonna be working with us.
Oh, yeah.
I niggas might as well. Y'all, everybody go home.
So who else?
Everybody go home.
When you get there in 01,
It's
who's
just
there?
Who
it's
else is
just
there?
me and Tony.
Oh,
It's
so Tony was
literally
there.
it's literally Harvey, Damon, me, and Tony. Tony wasn't even matter of fact, and Tony didn't do How You Gonna Act Like That or anything on that Tyrese record. He the first thing we did with Tony was Brian McKnight's Shoulda Coulda Woulda.
Ah,
That's the first thing that Tony did with us.
Okay.
So it was the new regime was me, Damon, Harvey, then Tony, then Lil Steve. He was, coming in and out, but he started when we moved to the building to the Edmonds Towers.
where were y'all at before that? Where y'all?
We were in North
It was
Hollywood.
in North Hollywood. It was a studio over there. I can't
forget
think
what
of the name
that
of it
place.
either.
Yeah, I
Because
forget. what
I
it
had
is.
stopped by. I had stopped by one time.
I mean, it was they had their own building. Like we were the only ones in that
No,
building.
it was funny. I never forget me going back because I used, a big part of when I left the Underdogs the first time is I wanted to not fall out with them. Mm-hmm. That's why I left.
Yeah, it'd be better for me to.
Yeah,
just
I'm
go.
like, you know what?
We
The way y'all do
friends,
business is not the way I do business. So, hey man, y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna go do my thing. I went off and did NSYNC, and you know what I mean.
Did big things.
Yeah, it changed my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had, I think I had a GS 400 Is that what it was? The Lexus GS
Yeah,
400?
yeah.
I had the 300.
GS
Yeah.
350 or 400.
Yeah, I
think
had
those
the
two,
400, right?
Big body.
And I've never been a rim guy because I just always was just like, I'm gonna bump it into something. And it was so funny because I remember when Harvey first started working with us, he just had like a regular truck, you know, full like on some country white boy type shit, right? But when I came back to go, you know, to holler at my partners, he had like a new little whip, whatever.
The Benz.
We talked him into
and
buying
Harvey
Benz 'cause he
and
wasn't
Harvey
gonna buy
said
one.
some slick shit to me. Oh, he said some. I'm not even slick. He said some fly shit to me, right? He said, "Hey JV, why you don't got no shoes on that?"
He said shoes.
Right? And I knew somebody told him that.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Harvey's my guy. I love him to death. Like, Harvey, you know you didn't make
Listen,
that up, right? So,
I was in the rims because I get my cars done at Platinum.
It's
like,
a whole thing, right? And this is I think 310 was cracking at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
right?
of course,
And
of
he's
course.
like, JV, why you got no shoes on that thing? I said, Harvey, look at me. I look like I need shoes.
do I need shoes?
Do I look like I need shoes?
And Harvey was like, "You're right, JV." And we laughed the shit off. But I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hilarious.
I saw where it was going.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, I didn't meet you that day when I went over there, or didn't see you again that day when I went over there. But I saw Tony. That's my first time meeting.
Because I
Tony.
wasn't a part of them.
Ah.
Because what had happened was when I met Damon at Brandy's house. That was the first time I met Damon. Or actually, I think I met him it was either Brandy's house or at NAM. One of the two. But the second introduction, I think it was Brandy's house because I was down playing on the piano. And he went and asked Brandy, he's like, who's the kid playing the piano? Yeah. And she told him I was, and he came down there. And we exchanged numbers. And then I saw him again at NAM. And then he said they were working on some stuff, and Harvey's trying to figure out who they could get to come through and work with him.
Yeah.
So they called me. I remember Harvey calling me. He got my number some kind of way, probably from when I did stuff with Rodney. But he called me and asked me if I would come through to that studio over there. He said, we're working on some stuff and love for you to come through. So I came over there, and literally the first thing I wrote was, "How you gonna act like that?"
That's
Come on, bro.
Race.
You gotta relax.
From that,
you have to relax, bro.
From that, they literally was like, because I was still doing stuff with Christina. You know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
in pop world, like I've done.
give us
My
some.
love is like
Come on.
whoa.
Come on, come on.
Maya.
Yeah.
And I did the vocal for that. Yeah, like everything she's doing on that song.
Yeah. Love that song.
Samantha Moomba, who's,
Come on, Moomba.
did a few songs with her, and still rocking with Christina, of course. And
Were you doing Keisha Cole at all? Because I know you was rocking with Ron Fair.
I didn't do anything on Keisha Cole. That was after I'd gotten with Damon Harvey. That's when he started doing more stuff with them. I wasn't
Right.
I wasn't part of that. But so I left from there because they said after How You Gonna Act Like That, it was like Harvey hit me up. I was like, bro,
You got to be part of it. Yeah.
anytime like there's an open space for you if you want to be up here with us, you can come through and write anytime you want to. I'm like, oh, okay. So they called me again to do the Brian McKnight stuff. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So it was like it was one thing after another, and they were like, yo, this cat is really consistent. So I started going over there all the time. And then we ended up moving to Edmonds Towers, and everybody got a room. Like at that point, I knew it was like, okay, it's official now. I have my own room, like my own space. Mm-hmm. So from there, it was a machine.
Yeah.
It was a machine. Like it was one of the best times in my musical career, just being around all that
We had a
energy.
time,
Like,
yeah.
it was the
You know
best.
what? Let's run off the names. Because what we all were a part of and what we all did was very special.
Yeah.
And I think it deserves for all the guys who played, intricate roles in that should be,
Should
be
mentioned.
shouted out and
Yeah,
should be
definitely.
mentioned. Like, and it's three of us, so I know we won't forget.
We won't forget nobody.
It starts, of course, with Damon and Harvey.
Damon and Harvey,
Then Tony.
Tony,
Then you.
Me.
Eric,
Steve.
J Valentine.
J Valentine. Tank. Lil Ronnie. Came through this.
Rob Knox.
Rob Knox.
I got a funny story about Rob though. Y'all don't even know. Like Well, at the time I was dating Eileen. She worked at Mercedes-Benz in Beverly Hills. So I used to go up there sometime, and I was in the service department, and I think I probably was driving my 6 Series or something. The guy came out, he's like, man, what is this? This car is so sweet. I was like, oh, it's new 6 Series. He's like, yo, that's sweet. So what do you do? I was like, I do music. I write and produce and stuff with this group called the Underdogs. He's like, oh man, I've heard of the Underdogs. Yeah, I'm gonna be up there one day. I do music. I was like, yo, come on, this room. Like we just be up there, doing our thing.
Playing Halo.
Playing Halo. Right.
Gang of Halo.
But he was real cool, and of course I didn't. What people don't realize about me, like I'm the same all the time. Like I could have been on some like, yeah, okay, I see you up there. One of them type.
I was on that.
Nah, I was never that. So he
on that with him.
He tells people to this day, like, yo, I told Eric, like I said, I'm gonna be up there with you guys one day, and he got an opportunity to come up there and play some music for Harvey and him.
He was like that.
He was in.
Wait, were you big league Rob Knox?
Yeah, no, I didn't super big league.
Not super big league.
We was hooping. You know what I'm saying?
That's
We would hoop.
Different energy.
You know what I'm saying? I was the better hooper. You know what I'm saying? So
Because Rob was a football player.
yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
on my I'm on my super hoop. I'm the hoop guy. I'm dunking on people. I'm like, he's like this. I'm telling you, I do music.
You're
I'm
just
like,
athletic.
He's like, I do music. I was like, okay, I feel you. You got next. That's, you know what I'm saying? He'd always tell me he had music. I'm like, okay, I feel you. I'm gonna listen to something one day.
Oh,
I'm
you were
listening.
continuously big leaguing.
A couple times. And so
You ain't shit.
no, it was we was playing basketball. We here to hoop. I
Tank.
don't have time to this no beats.
Tank.
I've apologized to him a few times. I've apologized to Rob Knox. That's my brother. And he came up there today. He came up there, and I'm like, I walk in the studio,
Like, what you doing?
and I hear some beats playing. I'm like,
That beat was
nice.
hard too. Knock it.
I'm like, what the
Rob
fuck?
Knox.
I'm like, what the
Knox.
fuck is that? And I walk in the room, and I'm looking at Damon, like, what the fuck is this? And that nigga standing right there, and I'm like, hey, what up, man? And I'm like, this you? He said, yeah, this me. I was like this.
I love it. That's a great. That's a great story.
Yeah, you nice. Yes, sir. I think that's why he hasn't worked with me to this day. Rob Knox, I don't understand.
Gotta work with Tank.
We're
Come
friends, man.
Come on, Rob.
No, we saw each other the other night. We saw each
That's
other the other
the
night.
thing, yeah.
So we got finished.
Yeah.
1500 or nothing.
1500 nothing.
That was
Which
after
is
I left.
James Fowler
I
Roy.
left.
I was
James
about
was James was on the second floor with Tyrese.
With
and
Tyrese. They
he kinda got
stole. They
poached.
stole James.
He got
Poached.
poached.
No, not poached. They stole him.
They stole
They
it.
stole him.
Poached
Poached
and
and stealing.
Yeah, but I stolen is like,
like
Stone
stolen,
make it
you like-
make it sound a little dirty.
Poach sound like I
Just kind of
took a little bit. No.
No.
Stolen has a law with it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You can't steal.
poaching has a law. Like
Poach- yeah.
poaching
You
them.
can't be poaching and shit.
Them animals is near instinct. You can't be poaching.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's a law for
Hey, listen, there's
It's a
only
legal
one
term.
James Fowler, so
Only one.
y'all poached and stole James
Yeah, poached
Fowler
and stole.
from
Poached and stole.
Tyrese.
Who else?
Who did we forget?
Ooh,
Frank Ocean?
Mansour.
Mansour.
Our brother.
My
Our
guy.
brother.
Saint
Saint
Nick.
Nick. Saint Nick.
My
Saint
brother
Nick.
Saint Nick.
Saint Nick.
Who
No,
else?
it was
Saint Nick was on
it's
600
so.
Pay.
It was.
It was a few people that came.
JQ
through there.
came through there.
That was
Carrie
Carrie
and JQ
Carrie
came
and
together.
That was a connection through Tony. Somehow he knew them, and he invited them to come up. He asked Harvey if they could come through.
Yeah.
So they would come through whenever they was in town and write with
Used
us.
to be up there getting it.
Yeah.
Carrie was on 600
Carrie.
Pay too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Luke James.
Luke
Luke
James.
Luke James.
Luke
Luke and Q.
and
Luke
Q.
and
Luke
Q.
and Q.
That was my first. That was the first project that they let me do. Like I did their first single, and they put them in the room. And I think it was more because they're like, oh, we ain't got time for that. Let's just.
Yeah.
And I got in their first single, like literally my
like
track.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my track.
man.
My vocal.
didn't know that.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
that.
he's singing on there.
Yeah.
He's singing on there.
Yeah, Luke and Q. That was like my project.
That was your project for sure.
Yeah.
That was like
I did a song
And I-
called Your Body on them.
really.
That was crazy. And this was
did they finish an album?
No.
Because I know they put
They
out
had a lot of songs, but they didn't
like
they
a
never put out.
maxi
Yeah.
single back then
it started
type
just
thing.
kind
But
of fading
it
out.
started
When I
fading
started,
out.
I would just work with
Yeah.
y'all, man.
Yeah.
And I ended up selling that song to Who did I sell that song to? What's my guy in Atlanta? Who did I sell that song to? I gotta look that up. But anyway, that song was crazy.
That was
I was
my
like, Luke,
that was my project right there. Like, I feel like that was probably the beginning of them going. He might be. We need to keep our eye on him, like, cause he could just end up taking off.
No, because the other part too, with the second wave of the Underdogs was everybody individually was their own entity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single person there was a finisher.
Yeah, we all did our own tracks.
If that was producing, writing, vocal production, it was so many different things that every single person in there could do.
Yeah.
Could literally do it all.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could walk in there and you'll hear a full record that Little Steve did. You walk in there and see a full record Tank did, full record I did, full record you did, full like you know what I'm saying? And like, okay, listen,
Everybody's room was
I
popping.
need help with this or I need help with that. But like, every guy that had been in there could finish. Tony Dixon, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it was special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Extremely.
To have that many people, you know, under one umbrella.
yeah.
And no, it's tough to have that type of building with no egos or no, like,
It was some egos.
You see my
It was
face?
some egos.
I didn't
It was some
feel
egos.
Let me tell
It
you,
was some egos.
this is
That's
this
because
is-
you've never met a stranger, one, and your glass half full, two, and you don't. You know what I mean? You
I'm gonna tell
Tank
you.
live in Tank World, baby.
I didn't Tank World,
Tank live in
baby.
Tank World,
Tank lives in
baby.
Tank
I
World,
didn't
baby.
feel it. I felt like
I'm gonna tell you.
Shit.
I'm gonna tell you.
Only time I felt like it got weird is at split time.
Let me tell
That's
you.
a weird time.
That's a
Split
really
time is
weird.
a weird time.
But-
Shit.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's- ugh.
you know, people. I didn't feel like there was like nobody was walking around with their chest out.
I'm
in a
about to
sense.
put you up on game real quick. And, you know, this is not something that I've never said to anybody else. But when it clicked for me that there were some egos in the building, or on the floor, I'll say. It clicked for me when I heard a conversation that Harvey and Damon were having with some people that were up there interviewing them for a article, some type of article. They were following them down the hall. They were showing them the studio and whatnot. And literally, my door was cracked. So as they were walking by my room, I happened to hear Harvey say, "The Underdogs is two people, Harvey Mason Jr. and Damon Thomas." And it hurt. It cut me like. And the reason that it did is because there had been other articles that I'd seen. They would never mention any of us. Like, you can go back and look at any Underdog article and you'll never see my name. You won't see Tony's name. You won't see Lil Steve's name. You don't see your name. They had done interviews on camera.
You definitely ain't gonna see my name.
And they didn't say none of our names. And I'm sitting there like, what's it gonna hurt to say that we have a team of like monsters that, you know, that go in the trenches with us, that, you know, they workhorses.
Gotcha.
Because for anybody to think, for anybody to be able to say that and really believe that they could do everything that was coming out of there by themselves,
It's not even possible.
it's not possible.
That's not even possible.
It's not possible. So that kind of made me start feeling like, okay, exit strategy. I got to figure out how I'm gonna get out of here, because I can't. I don't have an ego, like, and I feel like if I was, you know, I could have an ego. I feel like I could have an ego if I really wanted to, but that's just not. That's not who I am, and it's not. You know, it doesn't serve anybody.
Right.
Like, because people start looking at you like, nigga think he did. You know.
Right.
I don't operate like that. So for me to be around anybody like that, it just really, it bugs me. So the energy just started shifting. And then one thing that happened that I think was really okay, we really got to figure it out. The song that Avant did for the Shark Tale soundtrack, or it was in the movie.
What song is that?
Can't wait. Can't wait. I can't wait no more. I wanna give your body what it's waiting for. Me, Tony, Lil Steve wrote that song. That was a Tony track. And it was Tony's connection to even get the Avant play. Like, I think we had done 4 minutes already. So this was another song, and this song it ended up being in the movie.
Yeah.
In the Shark Tale movie, in a pivotal scene. And we come in the studio one day, and we hear the music playing, and we know that we did it in the little room out Tony's computer, like laptop. So the track was in his laptop. We coming in there playing in A, the big room.
Whenever it's playing in A, it's the real thing now.
And we kind of peek in, and there's cameras in there, and Vaughn is in the vocal booth. And me and Tony look at each other like, what's going on? Like, they had gotten, somehow, probably Dob, because Dob had access to everything.
Dob was
Got
doing
the
his
track.
job, man.
He was doing his job. He got the track out of Tony's computer, took it in the big room, or the session, rather, took it in the big room, and they were producing Avant's vocals on this song and getting footage of it for HBO, like, or some huge thing. That was the first kind of slap in the face. That was before me hearing them say that Underdogs was 2 people. So at that point, I was like, "Yo, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I got a little more time here." And funny story, Rob Knox's the first song the placement on Marcus Houston was the song that ultimately led to me leaving, because me and Harvey ended up getting into it, like slightly physical over that song, over something that happened on that song. And I just, at that point, I was like, I love music too much to let something like this derail me. So anytime 2 grown men feel like, or 1 grown man feels like it's okay to put hands on another man over some music, it's time to go. I'm too smart for that. I got way too much to lose. So let me just get my stuff and exit stage left.
I think the thing too was a big part of the golden years was the camaraderie amongst all the guys.
Yeah.
And I think once it started to branch off, people started looking around like, my guy ain't here, this guy ain't here. Because for a minute, so when I come back, I became a bridge. There were multiple bridges, right? But I became a bridge because obviously I had already had my history with them. So I would also go have my conversations with them.
Right.
And, never spoken about this, but I literally had went into the room one day and I was like, man, why don't y'all produce for the Underdogs? I said, why? It's like, all these guys that are here are producers. Why can't it be Tony Dixon for Underdog Entertainment, Eric Dawkins for Underdog Entertainment, Tank, so on and so forth, for the records that they're producing? And I ultimately think the business model is you guys kind of take a management position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being like, okay, we're going to produce it, or say we produced it and take the fee for it, and then give what we feel like we should give to, the other producer on it. But it still just says produced by the Underdogs.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys, they need their names on there as well. You know what I'm saying? Because of and I think it would have, I personally, hindsight is 2020. I think it would have lasted longer.
Definitely would have lasted longer.
And these connections would have still, lasted longer of, a James Fauntleroy, a Tank, Eric Dawkins, Lil Steve, Little Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and it would have made it where
That's a legacy
multiple people
move.
got rich,
Yeah, that's a legacy.
really
move.
rich.
Like, yeah,
got really rich because people made money.
yeah, we made money. but
People made money, but I'm
when you're
saying
rich-
multiple people could have gotten rich
Absolutely.
because of what was being funneled through that. And I remember one of the rebuttals was about the overhead. And then my rebuttal to that was, well, the studio is booked out by every label in the music business right
Yeah.
now.
So you're making-
that overhead. If y'all booking the studio out at $1,500, $2,000 a day, even if overhead is $30,000 a month, I know math really well.
Yeah, and that.
So you're
ain't
making
mathing.
45 to 60,000, and the studio is double and triple booked out sometimes.
Yeah,
We talked about that when we
Yeah.
brought Omarion on here. There were no songs for Omarion.
he was sitting in the lounge waiting.
he at that point coming out of that group, he wasn't on
He wasn't on the,
the
radar,
top
like
of their
he,
list.
Yeah, it wasn't priority.
But we liked him.
Yeah,
So we gave up our All-Star weekend / Grammy weekend of
Yeah.
LA
and did.
and did I'm trying to. I feel like I'm forgetting one other one. There was one
Was
other
it
one.
Midnight?
No, it's those two.
It was,
It was those two?
but we.
It was
I
those
feel like we wrote. It was another
we
record we
wrote-
wrote.
we wrote
Yeah, I don't think that landed.
Yeah.
But you know, excuse me. That was a way, in my opinion, to keep everyone happy. It's like, yo, even if it would have been, I'm sliding Eric Dawkins 20,000 on this record that he started.
Yeah.
I'm sliding Tony Dixon a dub. Like you said, we go back to it. You're coming from just doing what, 7 songs on Dave
on Dave
Hollister?
Hollister.
At
7
what?
At 35,000 a
At
piece.
35,000 a piece to now, if you don't mind me asking, brother.
Getting maybe 5,000.
Maybe, depending on the artist.
Getting maybe 5,000.
That's tough.
Tough.
That's really tough. And I told him, I was like, bro, niggas is gonna start bailing. Niggas is gonna get out. And then it was like, you just start seeing pieces.
Yeah. I mean, that
think I was-
ultimately, but why I ended up leaving the math. The math.
Yeah,
I love making the music. But
Yeah,
it's the math for me.
And for me, I started questioning the split situation after I did my publishing deal with them, because I signed to a publishing deal to the Underdogs through Universal, through Irving. So when I saw that split sheet come, and I'm looking at the percentages, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, y'all already getting a piece of my publishing, and y'all going, this number don't really math with me.
It's called double dipping.
It's called double dipping. I literally took the split sheet in the office and sat down with Harvey and Damon and was like, I can't sign this because you're taking double away from me. Like I can't speak for everybody else, but I will not sign this.
I took less on How Could You because I saw people who had been in that
Contributed.
room with me
Getting-
writing those records, getting smaller portions. And I was like, you know what? I'll actually take less on this record.
Yeah.
So such and such can get
I did that several times, but I told them was like, I don't think it's fair for you all to double dip like this. For me, I don't know who else has a publishing deal up here with you all, but for me, it's not gonna work like this. So I will not sign this split sheet. It has to look right for me to sign. And so they adjusted it, and I was like, okay, this is better. And from that day on, it was funny. Like they would literally ask me to kind of oversee the splits from that point, because I would remember who did what when we in the room got the scribes open.
Yeah,
Like
you got the scribes.
I would be the one that would really be paying attention to who's contributing what to the song. So I was the reason like people was getting a fair piece of the publishing. Like they did absolutely more than that. So that little 7%, you brought that up to 10. Because it was so many people at any given time, it could be 6 people on the song.
Easy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
No, I had
this
a
gotta be fair.
moment where I felt petty. I never forget. I underlined the lyrics as we were writing, and I said, I can't do that. I don't personally want to do that. I remember. I think the underline at that time it was blue. You remember how
you can underline
in
Word.
Word. I remember doing it.
I put asterisks beside the lines that I know I wrote.
And I was like, this don't feel comfortable.
But
for
you
me
had,
to
but you
have
had
to-
to do it though.
But I didn't feel comfortable doing that. And that was part of me leaving finally.
Yeah.
Other than, when they kick Lil
Lil
Ronnie
Ronnie
out,
out.
I couldn't accept that. This is my guy. Lil Ronnie was my guy. And I'm
Tell you
like,
something, that story.
I'm not
another
rolling
one.
with that.
Yeah.
So I'm out.
Yeah, I remember you was like,
Ronnie came live with me. It's my guy.
yeah.
I was like, where they go?
Where they going? Where my
They
friends?
was on off of Balboa. I remember that house.
We had the crib, baby. We had
I
my,
remember that house.
my studio house.
I remember that house.
Bob and Lil Ronnie in there.
Yep. Nice. Man, we got so many. We got so much history. So
Yeah.
much, so many stories. I remember the picture we took in the kitchen
With the money.
with the money.
With the
Like,
money.
We all standing there with stacks like these dudes is. We
No, it
really
was-
doing it.
No,
Like,
bro, we had
getting
it was a great time. It was a great moment in time. I wish it could have lasted longer.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that it was just business being done instead of it being brotherhood. And sometimes that gets muddled.
Yeah.
When there are bills and there are things that have to be paid for, but what I've learned obviously in me and Tank having R&B Money was at the end of the day, you shouldn't be in business with people that you're not willing to take a loss with or for at times.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
that.
That's good.
Like we've taken losses for each other.
Yeah.
And I can't tell people that they should do that. I'm just saying how it
rock.
feels good to do business going on. What are we at this point?
Shit.
Not even before that, but after that, but we at least, we 15, 10 for sure.
least
For
10,
sure.
Yeah.
At least 10 in of just strongly doing business. And yes, we have our moments where it's like, shit, okay, we got to, okay.
Yeah.
Where he got to take a little lump for me, I got to take a lump for him. But I don't see us breaking up
Yeah.
in our
Yeah, no, it
partnership in our business breaking up
it
because
works.
we're willing not only to win together, but we're willing
Win
to
and lose
lose
together.
together
Yeah.
and for each other.
Yeah.
That's a marriage, though. That's the definition of a marriage, and that's,
And business should be a marriage.
business
Yeah.
should absolutely be a marriage.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't trust me, this business ain't gonna last. If you can't, you can't depend on me to be, ride or die.
Right.
And like you said, take those L's when you don't have to.
Unless, in all fairness, it's explained to you when you walk in the door.
When you walk in the door, that's why
This is what it is.
That's why I said
You will get this for this and this for that, and that's what it is.
I tell people all the time, like when I left, I had a moment of clarity. It's like, you know what? I'm not about to bash these dudes or go around saying crazy stuff about them. I can't be mad at them for running their ship the way they run it. I was on the ship willingly. Like nobody twisted my arm
Yeah.
to get on this ship. This is their ship. That's how they want to run it. Cool. It's been working for them.
Yeah.
It's just not working for me
Right,
anymore.
right,
I'm gonna get off and get my own boat, and whoever gonna rock with me, and we gonna, we'll sail on. But I couldn't even be mad at them. Like, so, even to this day, like when I think about that, that's why I'm able to tell those stories and not like have flashbacks. Like,
Yeah.
nigga just took money out of my
Yeah,
mouth.
nah,
Like,
absolutely.
It happened, and we're all still like me and Harvey. I still work with Harvey to this day.
Yeah. I just saw
Like,
her yesterday.
we do, like, he calls me, like, there's certain people in the industry, if they call and ask me to come through,
put
I
it
don't
on for
even
'em.
ask them
Yeah.
what for.
Yeah.
I say, oh, what time you need me?
Yeah.
Like, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Period. Like, Harvey is one of those guys. And I, even when him it was funny when him and Damon split for the last time. I called Damon, was like, just so you know, I'm still gonna work with Harvey. I don't want you to get all in your feelings because I know you be saying stuff and whatever. But me and Harvey have a cool relationship. Me and Harvey was cool. I'm still gonna work
Yeah.
with Harvey. So don't.
No, and Tank and I have done the same exact thing. We're still cool with both of them individually.
Yeah, individually,
Like, I have
yeah.
no issues with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Tank, when we started Song Dynasty before we did R&B Money, it was at
Harvey
Harvey's studio,
Oh, dope.
which in turn led to Damon coming back off of conversations he was having with me and Tank. And Tyrese and Genuine and TGT. They made a full comeback for TGT.
Full comeback. But you know what the comeback was
Brown.
for? Though?
Chris Brown.
Chris
and
Brown
then,
was the reason that they came back.
Yes.
Because he said, I want an underdog record.
I want an underdog record.
I don't want to work with Damon by himself, and I don't want to work with Harvey by himself. The only way I'm going to get a song from them is if they come together. That's literally when we came back and was at the studio on Violin. Like, and it worked for a couple years, and then it just imploded again. Like, that was the final.
Yeah.
Final chapter.
It was the final chapter of the Underdogs.
What's your favorite record you wrote during that time? It better be She Wrote the Trouble.
I don't know that I have a favorite. There's several that I could listen to now and get that feeling like, yo, ew. Oh, I'm so mad we ain't still together. That kind of
I
feeling.
think mine is Injury Reserve.
Oh, right,
my favorite
man.
song.
Injury Reserve.
Shut up. It's not.
It is.
It didn't make
Injury
your album.
didn't.
Don't give me that.
It's still one of
It's
my
my favorite song
one of my favorite
of my time there.
I love
And
it.
you didn't put it on Sex, Love, and Pain.
Put it out now. I love
No,
that
bro. It's over.
The time
over.
has
It's
passed.
on the
It's
internet.
streaming.
You hear me? It's on the internet
Let's
now.
license it. Let's get it licensed
license it.
so we can eat.
He did all that for somebody to steal
get
his
some
computer and leak the
That
records.
is still my computer. The Apple Store copied my drive.
Oh, dang.
That's
That's,
yeah.
even worse.
That's wild.
That's even worse.
And it was like, do I sue Apple? And I'm trying to get my music.
You would never be
For
in the
one
Apple
of the
playlist.
employees that
iTunes?
got excited.
When employees got excited, they was doing whole
You would
mixtapes.
never get in the
Tank
iTunes playlist.
No, Tank has full albums
full
out
albums
there
and mixtapes.
that people come up to him talking about.
That's
Like, you know
that's
that one?
wild.
He's like, yeah, I never released that, man. They
That's
stole it
wild.
So now my goal is to get all my music licensed that's been
and
released.
compile it, yeah.
So I can take my money.
There you go.
Add
There you go.
to my catalog.
So no favorite?
I mean, I have to say, how you gonna act like that is
He would say
it
one
has
that we not a part of. Tank.
no.
It's
I'm
cold,
about to say why. I'm about to say why it's the gift that keeps on giving. It still shows up on my statements today.
sure.
Today, like that's I'll say that's one of my favorite. But and we mentioned, not even because I'm here, like wedding song. It was fun to write. Songs like that I love writing because I would come up with these clever little lines, kind of like Sorry 2004.
Yeah.
Like the line that I'm probably most proud of is like, it's like I forgot your gift on 02/14/03. It's like Valentine's Day, 2003.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm sorry in 2004. So that kind of stuff, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's your favorite song from that time?
I'm sorry. Wait, how could you?
Oh yeah.
People still, like, I have people asking me for my demo of that song.
Which is
Still today.
Which is killer.
And
got two.
I tell them all the time, like, because like, what made you come up with ghetto Kama Sutra? It's like, that wasn't me. I was J Valentine. I didn't even know what a ghetto Kama Sutra was.
I didn't know there was even a ghetto in Sutra.
Right, but I knew it was hot.
It was just the nastiest shit you could do in the hood.
I just knew it was hot. So
Never
I'm
knew
like,
Sutra
hey,
went to the ghetto. I
that
didn't even know
works. Ghetto Kama Sutra.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Who
Ridiculous.
thinks of
That
that?
was
J
exciting.
Valentine. Yeah. So yeah.
Mine was O,
Oh.
Yes.
and I gotta say a song I didn't do. Third Story.
Ooh.
Now that it's
Over. Yeah. Me, Harvey.
That record was crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
and you know Harvey, he was the foundation of that because one of his best friends had gotten killed in I think an accident or something. So that was birthed out of that pain.
Let me tell you
from
something.
that, and we just turned it into a relationship type song.
That song,
it's
still to this day, is so crazy. And that boy Gavin,
who's my blood cousin, by the way.
went
Kansas City.
so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
About to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. That Damon change.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, Gavin is a beast.
Yeah, Gavin is a beast.
So what are
Beast.
you doing?
He's a beast. He's
Yeah.
a beast.
That
Rome.
That song.
Gavin Rome.
That song just gives me all of those days. It
Yeah.
compiles
Yeah.
all of those
Yeah,
days.
yeah. No, because you those are the flashbacks. Those are
Yeah.
those type of records because
the third story
you,
songs,
you
period.
see every single person in there's personality through those type of records. 'Cause
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, or like you said, like when a Damon comes and makes that change and he's playing and he's doing his dance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's infectious.
Yeah.
It's infectious. And you know what I mean? And they had the other part was you had the straight lace and I gotta get it done. But then you had the goofy fun with Damon and his breakdancing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it kept a certain energy. It kept a certain energy going within that studio.
I'm like, what are you doing?
He didn't know. He didn't
You
know.
know? He thought he was rocking
But
up.
he was getting reaction.
He was getting
He was getting
definitely
reaction, and with
He was-
creatives, you need reaction.
That's it.
He
It's
was
like-
the fun. Damon was the like you got to say it. He was the fun. Like
Yeah.
whether we
Everything
was
was-
laughing at him or laughing with him.
I remember
always.
for like almost a year, it was just me and Harvey as part. Harvey was like, "We'll be here at 11, buddy. See you at 11." Everybody would just roll in, and then Damon would come in like once a week, pull up in the Ferrari.
Grinding the gears.
You got some bridges left?
Bridges.
Let me knock out a couple bridges. Then he's back out. He's out again.
Yeah, gone.
So before we go to the next segments, let's also, because there were also other pieces a part of the Underdogs. Let's talk about the behind the scene people, the engineers, you know what I mean, the tech guys, like
Dave
you know what I'm saying.
Russell. Dave
Russell.
He was one of my favorite
My
guys.
guy.
The British comedy,
Oh my God.
No, it's
the
funny
British
shit.
humor.
Yeah.
Oh
Hysterical.
my God.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Love Dave. We still chat from time to time.
I love Dave.
Dave, Dobbling, Harward, Hobby boy,
Everything.
boy.
Anything you need.
Yo,
No. Whenever I
Literally.
thought I had a question for something, I asked him.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was sometimes. It'd just be random. And he would be like, oh, all you have to do,
Well,
you smart,
If you
tall
hey, dog, he know.
all the
He know
time.
everything.
You can't play no sports, but you
Yeah.
smart as
You
fuck.
smart, yeah, he's
What
smart.
was the lady engineer, female engineer? Was that Kelly?
Kelly Sheehan.
Kelly
Was dope.
Monster.
She was a monster
Yeah.
at engineering, and she could sing and produce.
Yeah.
She came. I think I was gone when she came.
I-
I was already gone when she came. I had met her in passing, but
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly
she
was coming
came
there
after
just like
I
she
was
was going
gone.
to supper club.
Yo, like can your
She
skirt
coming there
get
full.
any
She coming there
short?
full thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
them ladies.
Legs,
yeah.
tall
Legs.
ass legs.
Are we?
Andrew.
Are we?
Andrew
Hay.
Andrew.
My
Andrew Hay.
guy.
Andrew.
That's my guy. We had
And a good brother that's still with us now, Ruben Rivera.
Ruben.
Yeah.
Rivera.
Yes, Dave
And
Boy,
hold on, I'm with Dave Boy. Yeah.
Chris Spillfogle.
Spillfogle. Yes,
Come on,
bro.
man. Chris
Yes,
Spillfogle.
bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't forget Aaron Renner.
Aaron
Renner.
Renner. Wow.
Come on, man. We
Riley back on.
and Riley.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro, it was so many people that meant so much.
Who's the
that
one?
floor.
He ended up passing away. He had it was an overdose. I don't know if he was an engineer but he was a runner for the studio. He had a real country type accent, like he was a good old boy. What was his name? Short. He was short guy.
Really?
Yes, I cannot remember his name for anything. But he ended up passing away. It's probably been at least 12 years
wow.
now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
One of my guys,
Odo.
one of my
OD.
guys, he's producing like crazy. Which one is that?
Mike.
Is it Mike?
Mike.
It's Mike.
Mike
Daly.
Daly.
Yeah, Mike Daly.
Mike Daly.
Mike Daly.
is doing
Mike
his
Daly.
thing.
Mike Daly doing his thing.
And who we cannot forget. Candace Campbell.
Candace
Candace Campbell. Very
Yeah.
intricate part of
Absolutely.
the underdogs and the underdog business.
Absolutely.
Yes. Cannot leave her out. Cannot leave her out. We fell out one time.
We fell out.
Can't leave her out. We fell out one time.
Listen, Candace helped that ship.
Oh, she
stay floating.
ran things.
He wouldn't talk that talk
She-
to everybody.
Yeah.
She
That
ran
real
things.
talk.
Yeah.
Hey puppies. She's always calling everybody puppies. Hey puppies. Hey.
Oh, Candace is great, bro.
Listen, I
Candace was
love
okay.
to meet some Candace.
Love Candace.
I
Love
feel like
me
it's
some
one
Candace.
person that I'm forgetting.
Trafari.
Bluetooth.
We forgot to mention Bluetooth.
Yes,
I gave
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth his name.
Bluetooth.
Really?
I literally, because he would come in every day with that Bluetooth.
the
and this was
Bluetooth
when
in
the
his ear.
Bluetooth
It
had
was
the little
blue.
blue
It was
LED on
actually
it.
blue. Yeah,
It would
yeah.
stay on. I'm like, this cat never takes that thing out of his ear.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I
Sounds
know.
Bluetooth.
I know. Because he done went and done his shit. Q.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce.
Light skin Q.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Harvey's
Golden
best
State
friend,
Warriors.
Golden State Warriors. Q. He was Harvey's assistant.
Yo, yes, he worked in the office.
And now he is the assistant coach of the
Yeah.
world champion
Listen, I
Golden
remember-
State Warriors.
Because he was always talking about from Fillmore.
Yeah, I was always talking about. And now he literally is
He is
in
in
Fillmore.
Q from Fillmore. This is a
Fillmore.
white cat.
No, I have him-
when I tell you
I have him in my phone. It's Q Newt.
Yeah. Yeah.
To this
Q
day.
Newt, baby. Q Newt.
Fillmore.
Yo, I remember
he
he got
Jay Fillmore.
he got
love
a
it.
job in the front office of another NBA team. I forget what it was.
It was probably the Phoenix Suns because he
I
was,
think
he was
so,
working
yeah.
with this guy. He was
And
working
he-
with Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I can't forget Q
What up,
Newt.
Q?
Come on,
From
man.
Fillmore.
So many,
No, there
So
were
many guys.
there were so many people, man, that made that experience great and helped that be, in my opinion, and I will argue with anyone. I believe for our generation and our time, the greatest songwriting production collective going as a team.
yeah.
As a team.
Absolutely.
Nobody has that many successful guys with and without
No.
Yeah.
that third floor.
No.
If anybody want to run up on that
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have that conversation
And do
with
them
me
numbers.
and
Listen,
do those numbers of
Hey,
every
that
guy
should be a versus.
Them.
What?
The underdogs against anybody.
against any and everybody,
Any and everybody.
because it's going to break off
It's
into
gonna
the
break off
guys
so many
who have
guys.
had their
Yes.
successes with
Yes.
and without.
That'll
So
be
I'm gonna stand
ugly.
on that,
Stand.
and I know
Stand.
we gonna get some smoke for that.
Let's
Bring it.
smoke
Listen.
them.
Bring the smoke.
Listen, the underdogs different. This R&B thing,
Ooh, he was strong.
this R&B thing, the underdogs
Are you really doing that?
Listen, they're going down in history, and I was
Yeah,
actually
for instance.
weird
Yeah.
We're going
Not
down
that
in history.
Yeah.
because that interview
we.
was wrong. That interview was
Yeah.
wrong.
It's
It wasn't just two guys. I just named off about 30 people.
Yeah, easy.
This
Easy.
collective
We're strong.
Yeah.
was very strong.
And I stand right by you.
He gonna be on the versus stage if we ever go.
I
to it.
absolutely will be on the versus stage. Listen, for all the artists that can't show up, I'm gonna be the one singing.
Singing it. He was
'Cause I
singing
sang
their
the
parts
dim- I did the
anyway.
dim, I'm right. I'm
You was
all the
singing their
background
parts
anyway.
anyway.
Sing it.
What you got, man? What you doing, Chief?
You over there doing
What you
warming
doing,
up.
man?
First of all, I had to call Eric not too long ago, and it was ordinary just won't do.
Oh.
and I had heard Isaac's version, you know, with all the guys on it, going crazy. And I think you were playing it on
On IG Live.
IG Live.
Yeah.
And I hit them. I said, "You better you call me.
You call me.
You better.
You call
I
me."
need that.
And he called me and said, "You send me that demo, boy. You send me that goddamn demo, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it."
can't be talking to the preachers.
Yes, I can.
Sure,
That is
like
my
you can,
friend.
man.
Sure it can.
And-
You gotta let me do that.
And Eric, I sat in that kitchen, and that song played, and I started crying.
Yo.
Start crying.
I started
Yo, he was
crying.
crying. He told me. He told me he was crying.
And my wife looked at me and said, "Are you crying?" I said, "A little bit." Eric's so anointed.
Eric's so anointed.
So anointed.
Oh man.
I was crushed.
Man.
You just
No. We all call on Eric. When you brought me fully out of retirement, and you said, Jay,
Yeah.
you have to do the song with me at the awards. I
Yeah.
was like, call Eric.
I showed up.
Eric showed up to my house, me and my broke knee.
yeah.
And he was like, all right, Jay, go through it a couple times.
Yeah.
He's like, why am I here?
Yeah, what
I was
do
like,
you need me for?
I just needed you to say it was all right. I just needed you to say it was all
I
right.
was like,
Confirmation.
you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, pick your breathing spots. You're good. Like,
No, bro. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, though, because
Yeah.
you are, I should save you under confirmation.
There it is.
No, seriously, bro. You're confirmation for a lot of things and a lot of people.
thank you, man.
And I'm sure you don't always hear that.
I think that's the first time I've heard it.
Well, you hearing it today, on today.
Eric said he liked it, so
Y'all better call him the confirmation now.
yeah. So I'm
No, but
doing it.
That's what you are, man.
Thank you. I
That's what you
appreciate
are
it.
for so many of us in so many. If it's a song somebody plays you, if it's the vocal that they think they about to go up there and sing for somebody, if you say it's good, we rolling.
That's what's up.
So thank you, bro.
That's what's up, man.
Thank you.
Anytime. You already know.
Do you like the piano that he's playing?
It's pretty,
It's tingy.
it's pretty moody.
Is he as terrible as you were in London? He's gonna keep playing like he don't hear me talking shit about it.
He's not anywhere near the terrible I was. Like, he plays
Okay.
so lovely, don't you agree?
Don't you agree? Yo, hey. Oh, he's showing out. Yeah. Okay, Damon.
They said the same thing.
Get your David Thomas song.
Eric. Top 5.
Uh-oh.
Your top 5.
Oh, your top 5.
Top 5.
I gotta find my white man beard
Your
voice that
top
he has. I can't
You gotta
find my
find
Eric Dawkins top 5.
Eric Dawkins toppers.
Singers. Songs. Your top 5. Top 5.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Eric Dawkins, who you like, who you like, who you like, R&B, who you like, who your top 5, your top 5. Top 5.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Wow. That's definitely not in the top
I'm not
5.
gonna put that in.
Not gonna put that in the top 5. That's my bottom 6. This is my bottom 6.
Your top 5 R&B song.
He may have to wipe his brow.
Man, that was funny. You made me sweat.
Come on, Pastor.
Yeah, I got my pastor rag.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case. My top 5 R&B songs.
Yes,
Or
it's R&B song.
We're going songs or we're going singers first?
which
songs?
first?
I
We're
want
going
songs
songs
first.
with Eric Dawkins.
Yeah, one song.
Huh?
Okay.
We're going songs.
It's the
It's the
songwriter.
first time because everybody else got to go singers first, but
Yeah.
you got to go
Okay.
songs
All right.
first.
All right.
Because you're a man of the songs.
Top 5 R&B songs. Past, present, or future.
Whenever
all of it.
whenever.
Future,
Your world.
Future's mine. No,
your world.
I'll go. Ribbon in the Sky.
Hey.
For our love.
gotta stay in my old school bag. Song for You,
Mm-hmm.
Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
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 Earth, Wind, and Fire, After the Love Is Gone.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you going there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you going there?
Oh my God.
I gotta
going
give these are foundational songs.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
are. Yes,
Yeah,
they
these
are.
building blocks.
Yeah,
Yes,
these
they are.
These
Yeah.
are cornerstones of all R&B today.
Yeah.
Two more. And this is probably this has some sentimental value to me. Algebra, After All. After all,
Yeah.
I will be the one to love you. I will be the one to hold you in my arms, in my arms. There's something
Yeah,
about that.
that record is
It's
special.
nostalgic for me. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime I hear it, I literally transport back to
Back to
the
that
first
place.
time I heard it. And
Yeah.
I was making out with an older woman.
Ah, my.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
and it's just,
Yeah.
hey.
Lift this offering.
You know?
Hey,
Was
guy.
she quite a cougar?
She was.
Got a little rower on her?
She wasn't that much. She probably had me by like 7, 8 years. But
Yeah.
I was a teenager, so
Oh, so that's yeah.
That's fine. That's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
yeah.
Did you have a car?
I didn't, but she did.
Hey, as long as she
You know
got the
what?
car.
She did,
As long as she got the car.
respect, baby. That's even more respect, because you know what I mean? Because guys her age had a car.
Come pick me up.
Huh? Huh?
Pick me up.
What do you tell him? I can do what guys her age can do? Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
Come get me.
Ready for the world.
I'll
That's
be
what
wait-
you were.
I'll be waiting on the
Hilarious.
porch.
That's what
Ready
you
for
were.
the
You was ready
world.
for the world.
I'll be
With the
waiting on
curl
the
and
porch.
everything.
Oh, you had a curl too?
Nah, not the hang. I had the curl on top though. My
curl
commission
on
days,
top.
it was curly on the top. Fade, oh yeah, that was official.
I gotta see those photos. Keep going. You got a number 5, right?
Number 5. It's so hard because I love so many songs, but and this will be, I have to preface this one. Get Here If You Can, Olita Adams.
That song is incredible. That song is incredible.
I have a story, and she's not even the original one. Brenda Russell did that first. Olita covered it, but her version of it is just like
Vocal just.
Olita Adams called me her vocal mate, and it
hear it.
changed my life to hear her say that to me. Like, I did a song with her on this gospel record that she did called "Come and Walk with Me on the Water," and I'm singing on the song with her on her record, and she called me her vocal mate. So yeah,
Wow.
and I was a fan of hers from that Get Here If You Can, and so meeting her was one of those moments. But that song is another one that transports. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Your top 5 R&B singers.
top 5 R&B singers: Stevie Wonder,
Yeah. I like.
Charlie Wilson,
Ooh.
Ooh. He like my Puff Daddy ad-libs? Take that.
Take that.
Joe.
Yeah.
Love Joe. Just clean.
Joe don't get mentioned
But Joe
enough.
is your kind of
He
singer.
don't get
though.
mentioned enough,
He's
man.
definitely my kind of singer.
Yeah.
That
Joe's
guy's
in your area.
special.
He's definitely my kind of
When he go to the upper room too,
Oh, it's lights out.
that he's singing in his natural.
Naturally.
Chest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, are you really gonna do?
Right.
Are you gonna do that tonight? He said, I gotta do it. They want to hear it.
He
I
said
gotta
it real
do
smooth like
I
that
gotta
too,
do
huh?
it. I gotta do it.
That's it.
In
Yeah.
full voice, bro.
Hate him.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
crazy. Yeah. Darrell Babs.
He done made it, man. He's made it, man. He made it, man.
Listen,
You
you're on
made
my
it, man.
You're on my list.
Thank you, brother.
You're definitely on my list. Number 5. She's not. Well, I mean, Brandy got to be Brandy. Come on. I got to put her in my top 5.
Is Brandy as two young men who grew up in the church? Is Brandy the closest thing to church and R&B for y'all? For y'all?
No.
No? Because I feel like
I'm gonna tell you who.
okay.
I know who you're gonna say.
It's 2 of them.
It's 2
Fantasia
for sure.
and Jasmine,
and Jasmine
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Yep.
They the closest thing to church.
And it starts with Aretha Franklin.
It's
Right.
definitely
Of
starts
course.
with
Of
Aretha.
course.
But
Of
they're
They're
descendants.
today's, they're
They're
direct descendants.
they're direct descendants of Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
They can do everything.
Because I feel like the church vocalists, the true church vocalists, they always mention Brandy. She's always mentioned.
Yeah.
Like even just in conversation. Now forget our show. Just in conversation. When you like that when
I
when
would
you
say-
start talking about the vocal, they will
go
never
back-
leave
I
out
would say
Brandy.
Brandy is the R&B.
They call it the
They
vocal
call it the
Bible.
Bible. Yeah, they do.
She's the R&B version of Kim Burrell.
Yeah. That's who she started patterning herself after Kim.
That's what she is. So for anybody that was listening to R&B, you had never heard Kim Burrell before ever in your life. You didn't know where those patterns were coming from.
Me.
You know what I'm saying? So Brandy
right, yeah.
was where people were getting those undescribable, unrecognizable, alien type patterns.
I heard Brandy before I heard Kim Burrell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Brandy,
so I
Brandy
heard-
came out before Kim
I heard
Burrell.
Kim Burrell before I heard Kim Burrell on Trinity Temple
Trinity
Full
Temple,
Gospel
yeah.
Mass. Yeah. So I heard
they
Kim
were
Burrell
close,
first,
yeah.
and then overlapped with Brandy, and I was like,
Yep.
so as I'm learning Kim Burrell, learning how to
Want
do
to
it, 10th
be
grade,
down, and that Trinity.
We got a
record came out
15-year-old girl.
Close.
Right.
I'm looking at him
Right.
I'm like,
Who is this?
oh, I
Yeah.
said, you got it.
Yeah.
I used to listen to Brandy every day.
Yeah. She
Literally,
was
every day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I say, oh yeah, and then the production. So the Crouchers was on something.
They was definitely on something.
And Damon Thomas.
It was
Damon was on there.
funk.
Damon was on there. That
I
early
didn't.
album.
I didn't really like the song that Damon did though. I ain't gonna front.
What's wrong with that?
Like-
What's wrong with that?
Because it was one that
what's
was
the name of the
the
song he did?
scale was a little different.
Okay,
The way she was singing against what he was playing, so I didn't really.
I remember
That was my least favorite.
all the
song.
funk on that album.
And some for the people. And some for the people.
Some for the
Some for the
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Sauce.
Sauce and Fuzzy.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. That
Bang, 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 bang.
yo, it was so funky.
Hey, when I talk about band work,
Yeah.
we should steal all of that.
No, I can
yeah.
see that. I can
Oh
see
my
that. Yeah.
God. And it was her vocal mixed with that. Nobody was doing that.
So crazy. Like if you hear her vocal on that, like when she's singing it live. I met Brandy when she was on tour with Boys and Men, and Warren was playing. He was in the band, and he introduced me to Brandy. We were in Milwaukee. He was doing a play, and they were playing like maybe 2 blocks away from where we were playing. So I went over there. D-Lo was playing drums. Corny on bass. Dave Foreman on guitar.
that
The
was
band
cooking.
was
They was
crazy.
cooking.
They was done. So took me over there, and Brandy, she's a singer junkie. Like she loves somebody that can sing. So one was like, "It's my boy Eric Dawkins. Like he sings and stuff, and he's in this play down the street." She's like, "For real, sing something." She's young Brandy, like she all giddy. She said, "Sing something." I sang a song for you. When I tell you, Brandy almost busted my lip. Just running at me like, "Oh my God, you're so dumb!" So from that moment, we became like really close. Like she gave me her number. We would call each other. And she came to Detroit doing the state fair, and so I went and hung out with her and stuff. So I took her to her hotel to get something, and as we were walking down the hall, she was like, I need some different stuff. Give me something to sing on the Baby Baby Baby. It's like so one of the verses like It come to my mind. Something like that, like to change up
I
the
could never do that.
the way she sang, and I kept singing it over and over to her. So literally every time I would see her singing that song, like when she was on TV, she would do that part, and she'll tell you to this day, whenever she sings it, she does those little things that I gave her back in 94, 95.
Golly. Yeah, you got little intricate detailings.
It's
that are
just the little things.
It's the little things.
It's the little
that are
things.
just-
That's
and
how I
it's-
didn't
and
want
it's
to change it up.
timing
Yeah.
of when you do it too.
It's timing and placement
Yeah,
is so
like it's so
important.
meticulous, bro. It's you're pretty stupid.
That's my girl.
Let's get to your Voltron, man. We're gonna build your R&B artist, your perfect R&B artist. Okay. Where you gonna get the vocal from, the performance style from, the styling, and the passion of the artist. Let's start with the vocal.
The vocal.
You can pick yourself too if you want to. I'm just saying, you're on the team.
You're an R&B singer, though.
Basically. I mean,
You are.
I didn't want to say it, but since you said I could, I was gonna pick somebody else. But I would absolutely have to be the vocal.
Yeah!
You can have an ego sometimes.
You can listen. Can't nobody say nothing.
Listen.
I mean, I don't call it ego. I'm real confident in what I do, and I feel
will
like
put everything I got on Eric
Eric
Dawkins
Dawkins.
in a verses to sing.
On a versus
oh man,
note fight.
That man
Don't fight.
got tone.
Tone.
That man got patience.
Patience.
patience. Is
He can
important.
sing a verse.
Mm.
He can sing,
He can
a,
sing
verse.
a verse.
All you great singers, you see what my finger just did?
I see.
Y'all be doing all the
Finger-
foolishness.
finger fingling.
Can't get through the verse.
Can't
You
get
got to
the
be able to get through the verse.
Tell the
Come on,
story.
man. Talk the
Tell the
talk.
story.
Talk to talk.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. He know what you're talking about.
Tell the story.
And he ain't gonna miss.
Ah.
And if he do miss, he gonna bring it back around. I've seen it.
I'm
Well, I was like, oh, he almost. No,
I'm gonna recover.
he didn't.
Definitely gonna recover.
I wanted to tell him he missed.
Nigga, nice on them
You hear
skates.
me? I wanted to tell him. Oh, Eric, you know I
You
heard
know,
that.
You missed right there. You are human. I am human. But no, I'd absolutely get.
Take the vocal.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I'm gonna take it. I'll take it.
Performance style.
Performance style.
On stage.
Usher.
Yeah. Ush be getting it.
Usher.
Cutting a rug. And he roller skate.
Yeah. You could.
Yeah.
Can you sing and roller skate?
Never tried it, but
Man.
every time I see it, I'm like, wow.
That fool up there roller skating and
He's roller
singing like
skating,
it's
singing.
like-
yeah, like it's nothing.
Getting busy though.
like it's
Like
regular.
like
Getting
it's
busy.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, Usher's great.
Usher.
Styling, the drip. What artist put that on for you?
Styling. It's probably. I'm so not a suit and tie type guy, but somebody that's clean every time they perform is Neo.
Neo be fly.
He be
Neo
fly.
be fly. His suits, he be getting busy. He be getting busy.
I like the way he's so confident about everything that he does when he looks like that. It's like his hat, his brim is right, and the suit is like he does.
Nah,
all the,
suit Neo is very fly.
Yeah.
Nah, he be on.
He-
yeah,
yeah.
it's very Vegas.
It's very Vegas. It's very show.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very show.
Okay, I like that. The passion of the artist. The heart. The grit.
Who gonna have you sweat?
Or shout.
Our shouting.
Hold on. So a few people coming to mind. I guess because of how I feel her when she sings, it's Jasmine Sullivan. Like
Oh yeah.
the passion she sings with, like you believe she's gone through everything that she's singing.
Yeah.
Every ounce of it.
Since
Like,
she
there's
was
no lie
a
that she's
baby singing, you still felt
Basically.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe everything she sings.
I love that Voltron.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is my Voltron tonight
I
with
got-
the sword.
My piano player gotta, you know what I mean? My organist. This ain't quite an organ, but
I'm nervous.
I ain't saying no names.
Hey.
I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names.
Come on. Come on with it.
Who you with?
Hey.
What you did? Don't say shit. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. Hey, hey.
you sing so beautiful, don't you agree?
You got theme songs for every segment.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
This guy's great, man.
You just take that on the road.
This guy's great, man.
Oh shoot. Oh man.
You know, so that leads to the, to the I ain't saying no names
I ain't
part of the
saying
show,
no names.
the portion of the show.
Portion.
You know, where the story can be funny or fucked up. You know what I mean? Or funny and fucked up. You hear me? Yeah. It can be from your gospel days. It can be from the R&B days.
You got days. You got days.
Okay.
It can be from the soundtrack days.
Yeah, you got days, baby.
You got days for days.
You got days for days. The only rule is
Can't say no name.
can't say no
Not now.
names.
I know.
Well,
Let me know when you're ready.
okay.
You ready?
This just be a funny one.
Okay. So right now, this is Eric Dawkins of Dawkins and Dawkins. You know what? His brother might not like the story gonna tell because he ain't had nothing to do with it because we ain't saying no names. But it's still Eric Dawkins of Dawkins and Dawkins. Huh? The underdog himself. Here to tell us an amazing story where he does not say any names.
He doesn't.
Eric Dawkins, everyone.
So, I used to be a part of a group of guys, and we had this little game that we would play. First of all, you'll never want to be the first one to walk in a building when the group of us is together.
Okay.
Because ultimately, somebody's going to yell something out and hide behind the corner. So whatever they say, it's all you when you come in the building. And normally the lobby is full of people. It has to be somewhere that's crowded. So you're going to get that look like either you're crazy or they think you about to shoot up the place or something. It's always a game. So this one particular time we were at a show, and I'll give you some examples of how the game goes, and it's just you saying the craziest thing, and it don't have to be walking in the building, but just saying the craziest thing, like, and putting everybody in a really funky situation. So this one particular guy was walking on the beach in the Bahamas, saw this yoked up guy who was doing some workout, and so he walks up to him. He ain't cut up or nothing, but he walks up to this guy and it's like, "You work out a lot, huh? You're pretty big." And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, how much you bench? I don't know. 350, 400. Like, really? I'll whoop your butt all up and down this beach. And the guys were like, and the guy looked at him like, "Oh, really?" So he starts getting himself together because he think he going, and he's like, "No, man, I'm just playing." So that kind of stuff, just out of the blue, just say something, the craziest thing you'll say, or do something. So this particular time, we're at a show, and I ain't gonna say no names, but one person who kind of self-proclaimed as the king of the game was leaning over a balcony. You could see over into the lobby of the venue. Lobby was filling up because it was almost showtime. So he's leaning over the balcony. And if you look up, you could see him. So he was kind of not trying to be too seen, but kind of seen. So I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the perfect opportunity. I am about to let him have it. And I'm looking around for the other fellas. Nobody is anywhere to be found. And I think I got to do this before he moves because I'll miss the moment. So I sneak up behind him, and he's leaning on the banister. And with all my weight, I wasn't that big, but I leaned on him, and in the most obnoxious imitation of his voice I could do, I said, "And I am running back to you," and bolted. Not gonna say no names, but this person literally fell back, almost choked, laughing. Of course, the people looked up at him like, "What? Why would you?" I ran back to the guys like, I am truly the king of this game from this day forward. He walks in the room like, "You got me. You got me. You have the crown now. You are." To this day, like if I mention it, I'm the reigning king of the game with the guys, and
So you have to embarrass them.
You have to embarrass the person.
Yeah.
A couple of guys were put out. They took themselves out of the game because it was
getting too bad for us.
super embarrassing. I think Anson was the first person that took himself out of the game. So this one person took himself out of the game.
One person that's killing
This one guy took himself out of the game. We're in Minneapolis, and we go into this restaurant, a famous restaurant in Minneapolis, and he's hungry. So he's trying to we can get off the bus. I'm ready to eat. Opens the door and walks in, and somebody yells, "Hey, yo, I'm hungry!" Like, there happened to be 2 police officers right there, and they turned around, look, and literally had they hands on him. Like, he said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done with the game. Don't play that with me." The second one, which was funny, we're at a rest stop somewhere on the turnpike, and the way to get over to the rest area, the store or whatever, there's a walkway over the freeway. It's kind of nice little walk. So one guy in the band, he had to go to the bathroom like really bad. Like, so he had a little, we called it a scooty walk. Like you kind of clenching.
Like a turtle head.
Yeah, turtle head.
Man.
So there's these 2 older white people that are coming towards us. So he's in a hurry. He walks through the door, and somebody yells, "Move out my way, I got a doo-doo." And these 2 old people literally stopped and like,
Oh man.
he got back on the bus. "I'm out the game." So
said, "I'm out the game."
The idea was to swell somebody so bad that they get out the game.
Swell.
So I think I was the last one to actually do. I was the one to swell the person who I won't say whose name it is, and that kind of ended the game for that.
Way to end it.
I came out on top.
Way to trumpet. Good job, Eric Dawkins.
I ended the game. Won't say no name,
I
but
had to
you
start
know.
doing that around here at R&B Money.
Nah, man.
Yo,
relax.
It's
Bro. Relax, bro.
It's really funny though. Like
You do it right. It
You
could
just
be-
so anxious to go into a building and you ain't paying attention.
Yeah, you just walk in and somebody throw that voice out with you. Yeah, that's exciting. No.
Yeah.
My name is Myrtle.
Some foolishness, man.
What? Yeah, it's funny.
Eric Dawkins, my brother, my comrade, my teacher,
Familia.
we thank you, man. Absolutely thank you, man. You know, I can't say enough good things about you. I don't have one bad thing to say about you.
Me neither.
Ever.
Me neither.
Not a one.
I love y'all cats, man. This
Yeah,
is
love you too, brother.
This is the way I was raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My folks, they did a really good job.
Amazing job.
Amazing job.
It's so funny. I told them one time, it's when I was getting a little bold and on my own. I'm grown. I called my mom and dad. I was like, you know what? Y'all did a hell of a job raising me.
Yeah.
I said that to the bishop and his wife, and they was like, whoa, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. They were
did
just,
it.
they didn't know how to respond to that, but I meant it just like that.
Those are the words you needed.
That's how I had to tell
Yeah.
them because,
Yeah.
I'm out here in Cali. I'm doing my thing. I ain't in trouble with nobody.
Yeah.
Ain't got no enemies. I'm just, based on how they raised me and my brother, like, I just love people. So I make it a point to be as consistent and open, honest with everybody. Like, you don't have to wonder what I think about you.
Yeah.
Like, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna know. But I'm always gonna be the same.
Same Eric Dawkins.
Yeah, no. And while we're here, man, I want to say thank you to both of y'all for two things. One, making me a better singer. And y'all know I'm not the singer. Like, I sing because I have a gift and I love to sing, but like I'm not like a singer. But so I don't sing a lot. You'll never just catch me walking down the street singing. It's just not me. But being around y'all, working with y'all, it made me perfect my craft.
Yeah.
It made me to work on my craft and even care about it, to be like, these niggas is so good. I gotta start chopping. I gotta start
Step up
chopping.
my game.
Yeah.
So I thank y'all for that, one.
Absolutely.
And two, for singing at my father's funeral.
Oh, man.
You speaking at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, obviously, most people be like, bro, we brothers and whatever. But that's still a thing, man, where it's like you have to sit back and truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really meant a lot to me and my family. And I appreciate y'all, bro.
Yeah. Love you,
Yeah,
brother.
more than welcome.
Love y'all, dog.
More than welcome, bro.
And thank you for coming and doing the podcast with us and, anointing us.
Anointing us.
You know what I mean? We probably said a
Blessing
couple
the
cuss
room.
words on
Oh,
here.
yeah, it's all good.
Because we didn't cuss when Ike was here. But Ike don't do R&B. You do R&B.
Yeah, I do R&B.
So
You with us in the trenches.
yeah, you with us in the trenches.
I'm with y'all.
You know what I mean? I kept it fully clean when Ike was here, but you do R&B. So I'm about to cuss again. I ain't gonna do it.
You
But
save
no,
it.
bro.
You save
Thank
it.
you. For
My
real.
name is Tank,
I'm J Valentine.
and this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority
Yes, sir.
on all things
All things.
R&B. And this has been our brother, man. This has been one of the most amazing human beings to ever grace the universe, man. And that's how I'm gonna leave it, Mr. Eric Dawkins.
Yeah. Your favorite singer, favorite singer.
Yeah.